Oof, just made it in the nick of time. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Classic WrestleMania Watch Along Sunday. Tonight, we are watching the final WrestleMania of the WWF era. We've had, as of last year, we've had more WWE WrestleManias than we have had WWF WrestleManias. And to a fan my age, that blows my effing mind. So this should be a fun one to look at because the 20th anniversary of this was just a couple days ago. I believe this was on March 17th, 2002. So we just passed 20 years since one of the most epic WrestleMania matches of all time with Hogan and The Rock. And that's pretty much the main attraction on the show, even though it wasn't really the main event. But still, an underrated WrestleMania, one that I have mixed feelings about, one that I'm sure I will share my memories with as we go through here. And times were changing around 2002. The NWO had just come in, and Austin and Rock were on their way out. We were about to have a company name change. I mean, so much was going on after the WCW buyout that it was a really interesting time. And of course, right after this, shortly after this anyway, Austin would take his ball and go home. So all sorts of stuff happening during this time. Was about to kick off the ruthless aggression era. That is true as well. So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will have many memories and things to share about this pay-per-view. Should be a fun time. So hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Hello to everyone who is here already. Just let me say hi to Tatanani and West Coast Jams and legendary Bigfoot. Make sure I can hear myself first. And we got Boob Slime right on. We've got West Coast Jams. I think I already got you. How Wheezy, what's up? Good to see you, man. As well as Trey Williams and Life of Brandon. Jet the Hawk is in the house. We've got Rodrigo Ratnick. We've got Ben is here, and David Brown, and Kevin Davis. Kick ass. We Are Pro Wrestling. Nice. Plenty of monkey wrenches in here. And yeah, We Are Pro Wrestling. We might need some of your trivia statistics here. But yeah, the final WrestleMania under the WWF banner. And as of last year, correct, we've now had 19 WWE WrestleManias and 18 WWF WrestleManias. That's nuts, man. And this will be, of course, the 20th this year under the WWE banner, which, I mean, it took me, I'd say, a little over 10 years to fully deprogram from saying WWF. When I first started doing YouTube, in some of those, my really early videos, I would still slip up and say WWF all the time. It took a long time for me to now say WWE without, having to think about it. So it blows my mind that that's how much time has gone by since this show. And of course, Scott Hall just passed away a couple of days ago or last week, and he's got a big match with Austin on this one. Good to see Jay Lil as well. We've got George Morris dropping in for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? And how is Bub? Where were you watching WrestleMania 18, 20 years ago? Me, Maryville, Indiana, with my first wife and her stinky feet. Right on. That sounds like a great time. I was actually I'll probably get into this more later because I want to get the pay-per-view started. This is going to be a 3-hour and 43-minute show, and want to wrap it up by the top of the hour, 4 hours from now. So the East Coast people don't have to stay up too late to do this. By the way, go over to Peacock. You want Season 18, Episode 1 of WrestleMania 18, and according to Peacock, the time. It's an interesting thumbnail on Peacock. If any of you are on there, none of those guys were even in the main event or faced each other. Runtime for this, according to Peacock, 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 23 seconds. So go ahead and pull up your cock and get that queued up and ready. That's how we watch it here on these watch-alongs. We follow along on Peacock. When we hit play, the timer above my head will start moving, and you just follow along with the timer. That's all you got to do. You can watch the DVD if you want. If you're on the WWE Network or somewhere else outside of the United States, you can still follow along. You just might not match up perfectly. But we will all hit play together here in just a minute. But in terms, George, of where I was living in Wilmington in North Carolina at the beach. I had just been at my job there about a year, and I was watching it at my apartment with my roommate and my buddy, but I was really, really, really distracted because there was this girl that we were kind of interested in each other, and she was like calling me and saying, hey, come out and meet us out later. So I'm trying to like watch WrestleMania, but also like really waiting for it to end so I can like go out and meet some friends out. And I just remember talking to her during that. Luckily, none of those calls came during the Hogan and Rock match, but I was distracted for like, I don't know, maybe 30% of the show, thinking like, oh, cool, I'm going to hang out with this chick tonight or whatever. It's just a stupid memory that I have. But I was with my roommate and another friend, and we watched it together. But the Hogan and Rock match had my full attention. I just remember being a young kid, 24 years old, and kind of sort of new in town, and just ready to go out and meet people. So it was just a funny time for me based on where I was in my life. But yeah, lots of memories of this show, and especially that Hogan and Rock match. Oh, nice. Barry is here as well. Right on. We got K-Dog's Kennel. All our friends are here. And Raymond, Jamie, Chris, David, Isaac, Howard, Tyler. Right on. We got Ryan, Callum. I think I got mostly everybody. Ade, Akono. Vikings. Skull Vikings. All right on. Like I said, we don't want to be messing around for too long because this is a 3-hour and 43-minute show. And if you're watching this on the East Coast, if we hit play here in the next couple of minutes, you guys are going to finish it up right at midnight. So let's try to do that so we don't keep up people too late on this Sunday evening, especially for the poor souls. We got to work on Mondays. That's right, K-Dog's Kennel. This aired on your birthday in 2002, so that would have made you 20. Holy shit. Man, and that would have made me 24. I was such a young punk back then. I had hair and everything. Oh, my God. What a time. But it was a weird time in wrestling, that's for sure. So hopefully during this time you've pulled up your Peacock. Like I said, go to the WrestleMania tab under WWE and look for Season 18, Episode 1. You just want the first episode now of WrestleMania 18 season. Don't go to Episode 3 or 4. Make sure it's Episode 1. And we'll hit play together, like I said, 3 hours and 43 minutes and 23 seconds runtime on this. We'll hit play together. The timer above my head will start moving. If I experience any sort of internet connection disruption, or you guys buffer or have to pause or go to the bathroom or anything like that, just match up. Just sync up your timers to the one above my head, and we will all be able to follow along with no issues at all. So let's get on this because we don't have much time to waste here. Yeah, let me get myself queued up while you guys are hopefully doing the same thing. By the way, I have this right here on VHS. Now, I don't own the DVD to this. From what I understand, the DVD is quite rare. It might have been one of the first DVDs that ever came out. First DVD I ever owned, I should have pulled it out, was the Triple H DVD that came out in like 2002, shortly after this. But it was definitely by the time they changed over to WWE. And it was that Triple H, that documentary where they included like the Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat match and the extras. That was the first DVD I ever owned, ever, of any kind, movies or anything. So apparently a DVD of this does exist, but it's quite expensive. Now, I do have the DVD of WrestleMania 18 in a box set. It was that old, the one that came out after like WrestleMania 21. And it had the 20, they're behind me. I'll pull it out later. But the little golden box set with the 20 WrestleManias in it. I have a copy of 18 in there. And I have the original recording of this event from pay-per-view on my hard drive as well, complete with the Sunday Night Heat bullshit and all the stuff that they would do before, and completely unedited with all the original theme music and commentary and all that stuff. Something that I'm sure will be heavily edited in the Peacock version, which has been a crazy, annoying thing to deal with Peacock, because none of it makes no sense. They really need to clean it up and try to make things consistent, because it's really hard to figure out why they edit some things out and some they don't, and why one song is edited on one show but it's not on another. It's just way too discombobulated. And I think for a company that has as much money as WWE does, they should pay some people to comb through this footage and clean it up, because it's a fucking mess. No Blu-rays of these Manias exist. Okay. Well, I thought that maybe a DVD... I know a DVD does exist of this, but it might just be, not in a lot of print, because they are quite expensive. And I like picking up and collecting like rare DVDs or VHS tapes, but WrestleMania 18 is one I just haven't needed or wanted. I already have 4 separate different copies of this show. I just don't have that particular DVD artwork, so it's never really been something that I've gone out and tried to find. Oh, no kidding. They did a resell of 18 DVD in the UK. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty rare, Christopher. That's awesome that you do own it. I've got some pretty rare stuff. I got some pretty rare VHSs and everything, and I got a couple of DVDs that are pretty rare too. I've got Judgment Day, actually, 2002 on DVD. It's back there somewhere. That one's kind of rare as well. So there are some that do exist that are a little tough to get your hands on. But anywho, let me shut up. Let's get going here on WrestleMania 18. That's what you guys are here for. All right. So hopefully during that time, you've got WrestleMania 18 pulled up. If you need to watch any ads or anything like that, get all through that and get all zeros across the board on your timer there. And we are going to hit play together, and we should be a go. All right. So I got to do the double mouse thing. I've got one computer with the Peacock pulled up and the other mouse here to hit my timer. and we'll do it in unison, and we should be ready to go. Okay, I am queued up. Hopefully you guys are as well. We're going to do a countdown from 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Perfect. Perfect. Hopefully it's perfect for you guys as well. Don't skip the intro or nothing like that. Oh my God, saliva. WWE just, in this time period, loved these type of bands. Everything was just the screaming metal. Everything. I don't dislike this music. I just don't like this music. Saliva. All right. Well, I'm going to turn this down because I don't want it. And this doesn't seem to be like it is edited. It's quite the elaborate set there. I do remember thinking, watching this live, that it didn't feel to me as special as 17, but it still was WrestleMania, and it was still a huge house. And we're now 1 year into WCW being absorbed into WWE. I was at Survivor Series a few months prior to this, wrapping up the Invasion angle. And now WWE, since that was over, they were on their own to start being the only game in town. Things were really never the same after WrestleMania 17. So this is kind of cool, I guess. So this is maybe like the big video package that you would normally see prior to a WrestleMania. They're just doing it live. I'm sure whatever this song is, they were running the shit like crazy on TV. No matter who you are. So we're just opening up with a concert. That is kind of strange. Pretty good highlights, even though it's hard to kind of see it. Jesus Christ, K-Dog's Kennel. My God, Kevin, appreciate that 75 drop from you. That is just way too generous, my friend. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for all you do. Would love to see a review for WrestleMania. Is that 7 or 8? Let me count the digits. Looks like 7 to me. Oh, yeah, despite, you're talking about Slaughter. Despite Slaughter versus Hogan being very predictable, this show had a fantastic undercard highlighted by Warrior Macho King. Man, you know what? Do we have time? Just for that super chat alone, you can just earn the right to choose. Do we have time to do one more next week? I'll totally do WrestleMania 7 for you next week. We don't have anything else going on, right? There's no... Next week's the 27th. It is not WrestleMania. Yeah. We can do WrestleMania 7. I'm down. I liked, you know what? I liked the opener of that. I liked Rockers and Haku and Barbarian. Just a weird random opener, but I thought Rockers looked good. I haven't really watched WrestleMania 7 in a long time, man. You're going to really make me watch Bret Hart lose a championship? Okay. Yeah, I can do WrestleMania 7 next week. Yeah, let's do it. 1 week from tonight, WrestleMania 7. Be here. Courtesy of Kevin. That would be an interesting one, that's for sure. This song is still playing, by the way. There's no matches to talk about yet. Yeah, I remember the weakest link. I forgot who was the weakest one. Was it Booker T was the dumbest? I forgot which one was the dumbest. Might have been Big Show. I don't remember. One of them was. I hated that little woman. I would not have been able to be on that show. I can't handle anybody talking to me in a condescending tone at all. So, like, I'd be pile driving her through that podium. Actually, I'd probably give her a stunner into a Canadian destroyer through the podium. That's probably what I'd do. Oh, good. We get the Saliva Superstar. Available now. It's available now, guys, if you want to get it at your local record stores. I hope they have it available on cassette, too. Oh, now we're going to get the whole opening, too? Okay. So we get both. Off Leather Wings, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Appreciate the $5 from you, too. At WrestleMania 17, Bobby Heenan said during the Legends Battle Royal, by the time Sheik makes it to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38. Wow, that's right, he did. I just didn't recall he said WrestleMania 38. I got to crop that out and use that this year, don't we? Sheik's still with us. Bobby is not. Sad. And by the way, Off Leather Wings, do you think you're the one yesterday that sent the super chat like the night before? I did answer that, by the way, in yesterday's video. There's a lot about this Mania, though, I felt underwhelmed by as a fan. I liked Triple H a lot, but I would have brought him back different, man. The way they brought him back, I thought was too simple, especially the way there was so much leftover stuff hanging with him in Austin. But a lot had changed since he tore his quad. He went from both of them being heels in that match to coming back. Both of them are baby faces. I don't think WWE knew really what to do. I was kind of thinking the whole time that before Triple H got injured, that he might turn babyface and beat Austin for the title. And they never even, picked that back up, the two-man power trip. I mean, I think they did have a little face-off in the Rumble, Austin, Triple H, but they didn't finish up what I thought they were starting, so. Yeah, I think Jericho, Triple H kind of had that happen to him twice, didn't he? Was Triple H involved in the match that came after Shawn and Taker at WrestleMania 25? Was that the triple threat deal, or was that Randy Orton and Triple H? Maybe it was just Randy Orton and Triple H is what it was, I think. But whatever it was, it failed. It was just after that crazy match. And the same thing happened here in 2002. They have to follow Hogan and Rock. Crowd was burnt out. Rock and Hogan was a great match, but man, I always felt like this WrestleMania should have been Hogan and Austin. And the fucking main event, man. I'm loving the Keith Lee looks like the kind of guy tweets today. Finally, a part of Twitter that's not so fucking ugly. Having a little fun, some lighthearted fun for once in Twitter's goddamn forsaken life. But those were fun today, reading some of those. Listen to Jim Ross. God, the fucking Sky Dome, man. Canadians in the chat? Anybody been to Sky Dome? I have never been. Triple H Orton, yeah. Poor Triple H. Terrible luck with that shit, doesn't he? Oh, my God. Had to follow two, just legendary matches. But then again, maybe one of those years, who had to follow the end of an era Hell in the Cell, when Triple H was with The Undertaker. I'm sure somebody had to follow that, probably struggled. But I remember being very underwhelmed with Triple H and Chris Jericho in the main event here, because even though I was happy for Triple H, happy to see him back, it's fucking predictable as hell, but sometimes that's what you do. I just need to answer a quick text. Elizabeth had to take my car to go somewhere earlier, and she's gone now. She's off at work, and she's like, there's no good time to tell you this, but I have your keys with me, so I can't go anywhere tonight. But I wasn't going to go anywhere tonight. I was going to hang out with you guys and watch WrestleMania 18. Unless I hotwire my own car. All right, Rob Van Dam kicking this thing off. This is the IC title match, right? Regal, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, the year before, Regal Jericho. Both for the IC title? Regal. 20 years ago. Dude's in AEW now. So crazy. Yep, the title must go last, pal. Exactly. I mean, I'm okay with that belief, but I also believe there are some matches that do exist, and they've done that since. They've had some non-title matches in the main event since then, probably because they learned their lesson from these other ones. You know what I mean? Callum Hilton, thank you very much, man, for that super chat drop as well. This was the year I started watching wrestling. Holy shit, 4 years old, and my intro to wrestling was VHS tapes of Mania 17 and Rumble 2000. That is a crazy generation to be in, to start watching wrestling at that time when things were really getting crazy. Just a different perspective that you have, you know. Some of the first matches you're seeing are TLC matches and stuff, you know. That's incredible. That's why a lot of today's generation, you know, to them, that's the norm. You know, that's just what they've always seen. And to me, when we got to that point, when Callum started watching, to me, things were getting so nuts. I was really shocked at what wrestling was becoming. I was loving it. I was like, look how popular this shit is. You just kind of quietly were a wrestling fan back in the early 90s. Now you can shout it from the rooftops. Wrestling was over. Look at Regal making the knucks obvious as hell, isn't he? Jesus. Yeah, Regal took forever to get those. Look at these signs. What do they say? Oh, I've got it's time for some dinner. My nice, delicious orange. Very, very potent. Gummy. Let's hope for the best here. This ought to make Hogan and Rock pretty enjoyable. How young RVD looks there. Wow. Give me 2002 RVD against 2022 Montez Ford. I paid $20 to watch that match. Oh, that's a good fun fact there, Dustin. Thank you for that. God, these gummies are gnarly. Man, hate having to choke those down. Skydome has hosted 9 different WWE events with a combined total attendance of 274,000. Man, more than 250,000 people. Highest attended show, WrestleMania 6. 500 more than, I didn't know. I knew they were close in attendance, 6 and 18, but I didn't realize it was that close. I remember 2 different Raws in Skydome. One in like 97 prior to the Rumble, I think. I remember Shawn and Brett being in the ring, Shawn with the cowboy hat and the belt or something, prior to him losing his smile. And then they did the one a couple years later where they got that great still image of Vince screaming at Austin in the corner. Those are the only 2 ones I can remember other than the 2 WrestleManias. So apparently they've held 5 other events there, which I don't remember unless they were non-televised. Oh, God, he folded up RVD on that neck breaker. Yeah, RVD's like flexibility always made him able to sell stuff like Germans and shit like that real well. Anything where he had to fall on his back or back of his neck. Oh, I didn't catch that. Did Regal have the title upside down? Wearing it upside down? It was kind of hard to tell. I did not like that style of IC title. You guys know that. That Attitude Era IC title, I just didn't like it. I didn't like any of those belts. Nothing needed to change in 98. The tags, the Winged Eagle, and the Classic IC all look fabulous. They didn't need to be fucked with. I wish they were still the same. I wish they never changed anything. I wish John Cena and Roman Reigns and Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar all just carried the Winged Eagle title. I don't understand what's so wrong with having tradition and history and why WWE is so fucking allergic to it. I was a fan of the pay-per-view names back then. I would have been cool. I know maybe that would have gotten a little bit redundant and gotten a little bit stale, but I would have been fine with the pay-per-views remaining the same name every month of every year, all the time. Like, and not even changing months. Just in January it's Rumble, and February it's No Way Out, or whatever, and just keep everything the same. But we're a far cry from that. That's besmirching. Nice. Nice. See what I said about RVD selling shit like that? I don't know what that was, like a T-bone German combo thing, suplex, but he folded up RVD. Something good there. Both these guys look like they're bleeding from the mouth. They're both stiff as shit, too, Regal and RVD. It is kind of an interesting match. Regal doesn't play games. He's just tough as nails, and RVD's always has the reputation of catching you with a few Idahos. Yeah, especially with the history, like how prestigious the Winged Eagle would be if now we're into we'd be into our 34th year of it after its debut. We just passed the 34-year anniversary of that belt making its debut. I don't think WWE's going to do too much to change up their belt designs now. I think it's all about that big, ugly-ass fucking WWE logo. But I still think that belt would be so recognizable with WWE. Ooh. Wow, big frog splash with the Nux there. Nice. New IC champ. The year before, did Regal drop the IC to Jericho, or was Jericho the champ and he retained? I don't even remember. I want to say Jericho was champ and he retained, I think, but who knows? These signs. I miss signs. I wouldn't necessarily consider Regal underrated because I think most people know what a great hand he is. Although, I might stick him on that best wrestlers to never win a world title list. You know, he might have a place on there because I think under the right circumstances, he could have totally been a world champion. But he was so good. Regal was so effortlessly funny, and he didn't even know it sometimes. Divine Ricks, appreciate that $5 from you too, man. Hey, Greg, what WrestleMania match was a bigger deal? Oh, God, Christian. Rock vs. Hogan at Mania 18 or Rock vs. Cena at Mania 28? Whew. Yeah, think about that one. I think I'm going to say Hogan and Rock because we still remember that one so vividly 20 years ago. Rock and Cena, I think, was built to be a bigger deal, was built to be a once-in-a-lifetime epic match, but then they did it right again the next year. So I'm going Hogan and Rock on the match that was the bigger deal. But it was by accident. I mean, this wasn't even the main event tonight. They didn't think it was going to be as big a deal as it was. They just thought it was going to be a dream match, a cool dream match to give to the fans. I don't know what's going on here with DDP and Christian. Oh, I can tell they're at the Joe right there.
So Christian, after everything that DDP has done for you,
oh, it's DDP and Christian. Or no, it's Christian. I don't know who the fuck it is. Who knows what this is? I think it's European Championship related, right? Thank you. Jericho retained earlier in the year.
And it's as simple as that. Just like after I became a huge international star, I didn't need this second-rate city anymore, and I moved to Florida.
Yeah, that's right, Christian. They never let him. Canada will probably cheer him anyway. Yeah, I mean, if I lived in the Northeast, if I lived in Canada or New York or Maine or something, and I had a bunch of money, I'd be moving to warmer climates for sure.
That's a bad thing. Well, that soon will be determined in
I'll be right back. I've got a doorbell ringing. Hold on one second. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Ugh. I'm back. We've been getting our water heater replaced for the past like 3 weeks, and so there's multiple contractors coming over to rebuild stuff and reinstall stuff, and every day I'm getting some knock on the door. So the guy down there had to go check something, so I had to go deal with that. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. I missed Christian's entrance, but here comes DDP. MJ Parker, appreciate the $2. Callum Hilton with 2 more as well. Top 5 Manias. Oh, man. WrestleMania 3, 10, 17. Those are on the list for sure. I might say I liked 24, I think. 24 I liked. I don't know if I put it on my top 5. 3, 10, and 17 are the only guarantees. Everything else to me is debatable. For me personally. Getting swatted. No, I'm not getting swatted. Yeah, he's been, we've had guys here since like 10 o'clock this morning. Just work. It's all in the garage, so it's been a big pain in the ass, but I'm just renting the house, so the owner's doing all the deal with the insurance and having, but I just have to kind of, schedule the appointments, but it's a pain in the ass because they're always need me for something. I was like, I'm trying to watch some wrestling. Leave me alone. Regina, I don't think we should question why WWE keeps themes, man. They mess up everything. I'm pretty sure there was some other deals with those WCW themes because DDP's theme was kind of like a Smells Like Teen Spirit knockoff. So WWE wanted to make their own for him, but I didn't love his WWE theme at all. Oh, yeah, Divine Ricks. Thanks for the 5 more. I like Rock vs. Hogan, but I got to say Taker and Ric Flair build-up and match was good as well. One of my favorites. I do like that build-up. Was that the one where he, didn't he beat up Arn and he got to David Flair too, I think? Yeah, Undertaker was being a son of a bitch during that, but Taker versus Ric Flair was an interesting match, to have on a WrestleMania. They had some WWE interactions Rick's first run there because when he got there, he helped Undertaker win the title from Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series. So I thought it was an interesting match because of that. Got bloody, and it gave Ric Flair a really big WrestleMania match, even in the loss. Yeah, see, 19 and 14, I like both of those too, so there's lots of them. Those are good ones. And I really like 24. I did like 20. 20 might even rank higher on the list if it weren't for, Benoit. But that final moment of Benoit and Eddie, that was just unbelievable. And not something that I thought WWE would do. To close out WrestleMania with 2 pro wrestlers, instead of 2, superhero sports entertainers closing out the show. And to do it at the 20th show in Madison Square Garden was pretty incredible to me. Taker beating up Flair's son was a legit shoot. What? No, they definitely planned the segment. Maybe you mean maybe he hit him too hard or something? Or I don't know. Never heard that story. Interesting WrestleMania match. Kind of a forgotten one. DDP versus Christian. And this is DDP's only Mania match, correct? Oh, wow. You moved to Cumberland, Rhode Island. You were near the Friendly Tap. That's cool. Undertaker nearly won the title from Flair somewhere in October of 92. I think I have that match on Coliseum Video. I remember it. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, he might have. Yeah, I thought you meant like the actual attack was like not planned. I'm like, yes, it was. There's no way they'd have a camera crew and all that shit, and it wouldn't be planned. But yeah, maybe he caught David with a real one. That might happen. It happens. That's Ric Flair shouldn't be pissed about that. Ric Flair's a goddamn wrestler. He knows how it goes. Your boy ain't gonna never be a tough wrestler if he can't handle a potato or two. Zane G, appreciate the $2 from you, man. Wow, DDP was already out of the company here by June. My God. Basically was there 1 year, right? Baron Corbin. So I knew Baron Corbin won the Andre Battle Royal. That he wrestled Takeover the night before, and he won the Battle. I didn't remember that. That's cool. That Battle Royal became such a joke. Yeah, rest in peace to Scott Hall. We're going to see one of the greatest Stone Cold Stunner sells of all time later on during that match. Get my microphone a little straighter. Oh, I don't know who wins this. I'm assuming Christian does, but... Oh, Diamond Cutter. Nice. I was about to say, I assume Christian does. Boom, Diamond Cutter for the win. DDP retains the European title. So DDP, well, I guess the Battle Royal might change things, but technically is DDP undefeated at WrestleMania? He's lost less than The Undertaker. There's probably a lot of guys 1-0 at WrestleMania. That'd be an interesting list. I'd never want to dig through those stats, but I wonder how many people are 1-0 at WrestleMania. We're getting a post-match promo from DDP. The zillions of fans at home. Michael Cole is undefeated. I don't want to think about that. Let's pretend he's not undefeated. The Boogeyman is one of... That's right. He worked Booker T, right? I remember. I don't understand why people are more mad at Triple H beating Booker T than they are about the Boogeyman beating Booker T. That was a bigger disgrace. At least Triple H was a bona fide star, multi-time world champion at the time. The Boogeyman was a fucking boogeyman eating worms. That is if Boogeyman beat Booker T. I'm assuming he did, right? Yeah, I thought it was kind of lazy to stick Stephanie with Jericho. It was interesting because they had such a history, but they could have figured out a more creative way to handle the Stephanie, Triple H, one being a heel, one being a babyface. The Rock and Coach. This match isn't next, is it? Rock and Hogan. Man, Rock just commanded the audience 20 years ago. To Toronto. On you.
You see, Hogan, what you're failing to realize, The Rock wants you to remember, is The Rock wants Hulkamania to run wild on him tonight. The Rock wants Hulkamania in all of his glory. Coach, let The Rock ask you something. Did you take your vitamins this morning?
Rock is so funny.
Did you say your prayers?
Did you say your prayers?
Well, actually, I got kind of busy. You got busy saying your prayers. The Rock gives thanks every day. We all do. And you got busy?
And you got busy? What were you doing?
What are you waiting for? You know what? Shut up, Coach. You don't make any decisions around here. The Rock's not going to make a decision tonight. Excuse The Rock 1 second. Would you people like to see the coach say his
2-0-1 for Rude. Yeah, well, he did tie at Mania 4, didn't he? Yeah, so he's, I guess he's undefeated, but it's not the same.
in you? So, Coach, say your prayers. Say your prayers. So put your hands together, Coach. Put them together. Look up into the sky.
Look up into the sky.
Down on your knees, Coach.
I ain't getting down on my knees, Rock.
Say your prayers. Give your thanks. Get out on your knees, Coach. Coach, we all believe in you, Coach. Now you say your prayers like
That's right, Deshaun. Appreciate the $1.99. A year from now, Rock would be healing on Toronto.
What up, Jake?
Toronto deserves it the way they treated him. What up, G?
Coach here. I just wanted to give you a quick shout out. Good night for everybody. What in the blue hell is wrong with you?
What up, G? I have a lot of friends that call me G. It's kind of funny to hear him say that.
You get out of here, you sick freak.
My best friend, her daughters call me Uncle G.
Thanks like that. Get his candy ass out of here. You see, Hulk Hogan, The Rock wants Hulkamania in all of his glory. What you gonna do, Hulk Hogan, when you face The Rock tonight? When you've got butterflies in your Hulka stomach? You reach down to feel if you still got a Hulka strudel. Hulk Hogan,
Hulka strudel.
do when The Rock
Oh, yeah, I forgot. When the man gives it, it's strudel. Got to know these things. Got to make sure.
will tell you exactly what you're gonna do. The Rock will tell you you're gonna feel the electricity like you've never felt before. Electricity that has happened like never before. Hulk Hogan, you are gonna hear 70,000
I think I liked
chanting your name.
Rock's 19 promo better on Austin than this one.
Elbows come crashing down on your chest. And Hogan, above all else, you will.
You will.
God Almighty, you will. The man. What The Rock is cooking.
Yeah, it's one of those like happy accident things. Like I would have booked matches for this WrestleMania different, but looking back, I'm really glad we got the Hogan and Rock match the way we did. I don't know how that crowd would have reacted if it would have been Austin and Hogan. Did I say Austin Rock? Rock and Hogan. The fans were such a part of that and watching The Rock react. I don't know if Austin would have been that animated. Plus, he's just coming off a heel run too. It felt like it should have been Austin and Hogan, but I don't think they would have had as entertaining of a match as Rock and Hogan did. Because Hogan couldn't really work much, and Austin had a pretty straightforward style. So at least The Rock could sell the leg drop and sell the punches and all that stuff pretty well. And just watching The Rock react to the fans, acting the way they are, I just don't know if it would have had the same energy and the same dynamic if it would have been Austin and Hogan. Divine, I thought you meant like this year, like 2022 MVP Undertaker. No way. What are my MVPs from 2002? Undertaker, Brock, and Kurt Angle. Hard to argue those. I'd probably go Brock. Has to be Brock because he debuted the very next night, won King of the Ring, won the title at WrestleMania or at SummerSlam, beat Hulk Hogan along the way there too. So yeah, Brock all the way. Look at this guy. Fucking Maven. What match is this? The hardcore title match? Maven. I have a feeling that this is edited too. This doesn't sound like the music he had. So it's Goldust and Maven, or is this a multi-man deal? Fucking Maven. Ricochet is Maven 2.0. Kind of. He's way better than Maven. That's right. We watched Rumble 02 as well. Is this really one-on-one? I had no idea Goldust versus Maven had ever happened, much less was a championship match at a WrestleMania. That is insanity to me. Whoa! Big guy in the hot pink almost got taken out. Look at this guy. He's a pawn shop owner. Yeah, good point. Brock beat Hogan, Rock, and Taker in the same year. How can you not make him your MVP for 2002? Yeah, Brian Hipp. 3 title matches in a row. Good point. Didn't realize that myself either. I didn't even know this match ever happened, much less happened at WrestleMania. Chris Miner, appreciate 5 from you as well, my friend. Do you think Rock versus Roman will ever happen? If it is, it's got to be next year. Hot take, I think the match would elicit the same crowd energy as Hogan Rock. Imagine the build-up. It could. It really could. I mean, especially if somehow between now and next year, Roman becomes baby face and fans are really behind him as a baby face. I mean, he's going to be much different than the first time he was a baby face. And then he goes to face The Rock, but then the fans kind of treat The Rock the way they did Hogan at WrestleMania 18 and kind of all get behind him. Maybe turning on the babyface Roman might even be a good reason for him to go back to being a heel if they wanted to do that. So there's lots of ways. But to me, I think the window has been rapidly closing, and I think the window officially closes if they don't do it next year. Because Roman's more over than ever. Rock is physically, I'm not even sure if he was in really great wrestling shape when he was last in the ring in 2013, but I think if you don't do it next year, you're just not going to do it. It's in LA. Huge market for that. Oh, Golden Shovel. Look at there. That's interesting. Both them Rhodes brothers like to carry them golden shovels, don't they? Oh, good move there. That was a good spot with the shovel. Yeah, Bischoff would be on his way in. So much changing. I'll never forget, David. I'll never forget looking at WWE's website the day that it was announced that Vince Russo was coming back to the company. It was right on the front page that he was back, and then within 2 weeks, I think he was gone. Crazy. Yeah, why is all the gold dust shit gold? Oh. And they nailed each other. Oh, yeah, John, I know the time difference sucks being in the UK. Plus, you being over on the west coast of America gives me about 3.5 hours of sleep. Or Spike won? Or 3 to 4 hours of sleep before work. Yeah, man, my bad. Goldust raped my dad? Does that sign really say that? Okay, so Spike came in. Oh, there's Crash. Crash Holly sighting. Look at there. It took... So it's the 24/7 rule, so he just came and crashed the match, won it, no pun intended, and now is running away from Crash. Was that a Hitman sign in the crowd? That's awesome. Do we get a lot of them? Do we get a lot of hardcore title changes in this one? We probably do. Oh, we just faded to black here on Peacock. Jim Ross, that red hot group drowning pool. So we had Saliva and Drowning Pool. All these bands to me were the same back then. Oh, we have to do this again. So Drowning Pool and Saliva, are they friends or are they backstage in the same green room? It's like two bands where every member looks the same. All right. That's weird they're doing this now. I mean, this is the main event, right? Jericho and Triple H. So we're going to get our little cute video package now. They're probably like, let's do it now before the band gets fucked up backstage and they're too drunk to do it by the time the main event happens. Yeah, Drowning Pool did let the bodies hit the floor. It's about all I know about them. Yeah, that time period in my life, like I kind of lump all those bands together, the Salivas and the Drowning Pools, and there's like 3 others just like them in my mind. I'm not saying they're alike. I'm just saying in my mind I perceive them as alike. Oven Heart, what's going on? Drowning in a pool of saliva. That should have been that should have been it. It's gross, but it would work. Divine, no, actually, I don't think Benoit was on this show. Benoit would return shortly after this, I think. So I think what they were doing on TV is the actual song of this was being played during the hype packages on Raw and shit, but they were just doing it live in the arena here. I did like Stephanie at this time. She hadn't gotten on my nerves yet. I thought she was fantastic. She was the best heel in the world back then. And she was crazy hot. Turn this down a little bit more. Yeah, Raymond, the undisputed title match here, it wasn't quite the same, but Jericho's role in it reminded me a little bit of The Miz's role at WrestleMania 27. It was like, it was more about The Rock and John Cena than it was about the actual fucking champion. And Triple H and Stephanie, it was more to push their split, and since Stephanie now has been betrayed by Triple H at the wedding and all that, she's now aligned with her arch enemy, and they ran over the dog and they did all this other crazy shit in the build. And I'm like, all this just to figure out a way to worm in Stephanie into this thing. So I just thought that there was better matches that could have been had. You could have done Triple H and The Rock if you wanted in a babyface main event. I don't know. You could have done a lot of things, but I think, you could have still done Rock and Hogan, and then you could have done Triple H and Austin. That would have probably made the most sense to me. I mean, I know Rock and Austin and Hogan to me was the match that needed to happen, but I would have settled for Triple H and Austin because of all the previous history from the previous year when Triple H tore his quad and they were the two-man power trip, and they were already starting to plant the seeds of dissension between the two of them, and it looked like they were going to be going into an angle against each other, and I thought Triple H was going to be the babyface in that and probably beat Austin. So they could have just picked that back up, but by now, Austin is also a babyface, and the way WWE operated politically at that time, it was probably something like, oh, shit, we can't do that because then who do we put over? And Austin's not going to lose, and he's being a bitch, and and it was just a mess. But this WrestleMania still turned out to be really good, despite the fact there's probably 2 or 3 matches I would have done differently. Yeah, and the wedding segment stuff was stupid because it was Stephanie pretending to be pregnant and all that crap, and what a mess. I felt like a lot of that was unnecessary. Oh, here we go. We're backstage again. Crash has gotten his hands on Spike. Trying to win the title back here. Alexis, we just decided that earlier on. K-Dog's Kennel dropped in a $75 super chat and requested WrestleMania 7. How can I deny that? So we're going to do WrestleMania 7 next week. Hogan, Slaughter, Savage, Warrior. A lot of good stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, and an interesting time in WWE. So we're going to take a trip back to 1991 next Sunday. Same time, same channel. Oh my God, Hurricane is here on a rope. Please win. Yes. Way to go, Gregory. Get you some. Who's this coming? Oh, Al Snow. You're late, Al. How long has Al Snow been wrestling for this hardcore title? So this thing's been around for a while. When did they debut this? 98? They're in their 3rd or 4th year of the hardcore title by this point. I think it had a longer life than I thought. I just love that he came in on the fucking rope. So great. That's spot of the night for me so far is Helms. Oh, here comes Angle. I remember both of Kurt Angle's WrestleMania matches in these 2 years were kind of just shoehorned in. The previous year, they just stuck him with Benoit for the 2nd year in a row, WrestleMania. And then this year, I think it was another deal, if I remember right. Didn't Kurt come to the ring and say, like, I don't have an opponent for WrestleMania, and then it just was Kane? But this guy was champion the previous year, you know? You suck sign. You suck banner, I should say. Do I have RVD and Riddle here? I think I do. You guys got to look at them for a second. Look at the Fink. Hmm. 2002, I don't know what Canada did in the Olympics, but... Oh, man. Well, there must have been some sort of controversy. There's a controversy every Olympics. I earned it. I remember he's the big red, white, and blue machine. I like that. remember when Bobby Heenan used to always say that about Undertaker matches. He won it the old-fashioned way. He earned it. Get it, Gorilla? Get it? And Gorilla's like, yeah, I got it. We get it. We get it, Bobby. Yeah, 2 months later, Angle goes bald. He joins the club. Oh, that kind of rings a bell, Chris. Linda McMahon says on the DVD, that Triple H DVD, that she had to tell the minister about the storyline or something. Had to smarten him up, probably. I mean, honestly, too, with this match, I think both of these guys are arguably like at their physical peak of like where they were. I thought Kane was so badass. Maybe the previous year was peak Kane, but he was real close to his prime. And so was Angle. I mean, a lot of Angle's work, you could argue, was still yet to come. His best stuff. The flames on Kane's legs, those are not... That's not like mesh, and that's his skin under there, right? That's actually brown. He's not wearing the Brutus tights, is he? Oh, no, I don't think he is. I was about to say, Kane, I wouldn't recommend wearing lace or whatever. This was the last WrestleMania with this theme? How long did he have this? I thought it would probably be his only WrestleMania with this theme. Did he have this one at WrestleMania 17, or was it the... Or, oh, no, I guess I wasn't listening to his... I still thought it was somewhat different than the previous one. Oh, yeah, he'd have that sung version next, right? Like the forcible entry version or whatever it was. 350 pounds of muscle, 3% body fat, 850 pounds bench press. Or he's 99% muscle, 1% teeth. Yeah, he's wearing Brutus tights. Is that really like, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I think it's actually not, and it's actually painted. But I'm not sure. It's like he's trying to be sexy and showing his thigh. I can't see Kane doing that. But that's the way it is on the top, though. So weird. I guess I never put that together until now. I still don't think that's his exposed leg under there, though. I just think it's the top that's got the see-through stuff. But I could be wrong. Either way, it's a bit frightening. Yeah, Divine, we talked about this was the last WWF WrestleMania, and last year officially made more WWE WrestleManias than we've had at WWF WrestleManias. 19 to 18 now, and this year will be the 20th. WWE WrestleMania, just crazy. Crazy. Yeah, I actually liked the Slow Chemical Kane song version. I really like Kane's original. I'm an OG guy. I like everything pretty original. Here's how stupid I am. I remember when Bret Hart got his theme music changed in '94. I remember taking a minute to warm up to it because I was so used to that other really, really basic version, that basic Jim Johnson version, until they had the spiced up theme, and it took me a while to finally like it. And then I turned out to love it. So I think what's Kane's record at Mania? Lost his first one at 14. 15. I think he also lost. That was at 15. Pretty sure he lost to Triple H. I literally have no clue what he did at 16. I don't know what he did at 17. I think he was in a hardcore match, right? He might have won that. I don't think his record is good. He lost at 20. I don't know what he did at 19, unless he was hurt. I don't know what he did at 19. Oh, gosh. Favorite Kane mask. Maybe the one he's got here. I didn't like right before he took the mask off. I didn't really like that one. Where he had a little bit more of his jaw exposed. He was talking a lot more. I'd probably say like 2000 or 2001, that mask. Okay, Kane won at WrestleMania 17. I think that was the hardcore match. And Kane won by... Okay, so he won in 15 because that was Triple H shot him in the face with something. Was that what it was? I was thinking that Triple H actually won. Oh, Kane. They pre-showed Kane for 19. I was about to say, I don't have a memory of him at 19. I guess that's why. Oh, yeah. Kane worked with Rikishi and Xbox. See, I wouldn't even... Tell me, did he dance? Oh, with Rikishi versus Pac and Road Dogg. Okay. Hopefully he didn't dance in that. Yeah, he doesn't have a really great... He doesn't have... Like, I couldn't even remember half the fucking matches he had at WrestleMania. And that's sad. Kane was great in these days. He should have had a better moment. He should have won a championship. Even in the Intercontinental title, something. He should have had a good match... Like the match he would have in a couple months, or the previous year against Triple H, that like chain match they had for the IC title. I'd love to see something like that for Kane on one of these Manias. Instead of having RVD and Regal for the title earlier, give it to Angle and Kane here and have them battle it out. Ooh, I am really low on juice. I've got a sliver of red on my phone. Let's plug us in. I saw one of those Pete Rose choke slams in person. I was at WrestleMania 15. I think that was the one where Pete came out in the chicken suit, I think. Oh, broken hand for Kane at 2000. I still can't believe they didn't have a single singles match on that entire event. And that was the year, too, I paid for the extra deal. That was the year they did the WrestleMania all day long thing. And, you know, pre-internet and pre-YouTube days, I found that to be such a fascinating thing to do, to have 12 hours of, like, WrestleMania highlights. It was really interesting. I taped the whole thing, all 8 hours of it. I'm probably one of the only people that has a good fucking copy of that because I've never seen it anywhere on YouTube. Any of that stuff. I do like that Kane put Rose in 2004, though, in the Hall of Fame. That was kind of cool. I don't recall what they did for the Hall of Fame that year in terms of when the audience got a chance to see it, because I don't think they aired it on TV, or if they did, it was a really shortened version. I don't know if the whole thing was available until the DVD came out, to be honest with you. But what I was on some website had the audio of Pete Rose's induction and Kane inducting him into the Hall of Fame, and basically, big angle slam, and had Kane's induction speech to Rose, the audio version. I remember listening to it when he dropped the Hall of Fame line and all of that stuff. I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. And I never saw it until it came out on DVD. I just don't remember if they put it on TV. Bobby Heenan's still my favorite Hall of Fame induction of all time speech. Kane's in the ankle lock. Come on, Kane. I mean, this is only 18. Think of the match we just watched last week with Angle and Shawn from 21. That would be 3 years after this. Shout out to the fan in the on the hard cam there with the Red Wings jersey. Yeah, Wilbert, I'm surprised WWE doesn't put that out somewhere, put on Peacock for fun. I mean, there's nothing in it from what I remember that WWE would want to not talk about or air. I mean, it was just Michael Cole and like Ivory, you know, going through the highlights of the first few WrestleManias. And to me, that was interesting too, because this was still a year before WCW was bought out. But I think WWE was so far ahead and they knew there was no turning back and WCW was not going to be able to, you know, recover from that. They felt a little bit more open about talking about wrestlers that are currently wrestling over there, but it was interesting for them to talk especially about those first few WrestleManias and talk about Hogan and Savage and Razor and Diesel and all those guys that aren't there. But, you know, they had to talk about it. They really weren't insecure anymore. They knew that, you know, they were firmly in control of the war. Where back in the day, if WWE showed any Hogan and Savage footage, it would always be of them being beat. Remember when Warrior came in '96? They ran vignettes for like 2 or 3 weeks on TV, or all the way up, until WrestleMania, longer than that, of just him beating Hogan and Warrior, or beating Hogan and Savage at WrestleMania 6 and 7. So funny. Big choke slam. Kurt reverses. Jeez. Oh, man. See, that's why this matches to me, he had just two very, very similar matches. I mean, Kane is a different opponent than Benoit, but I'm pretty sure the finish was the same too. Didn't he package up Benoit and hold on to the ropes for the finish at 17? That's the same match. Gave Angle a win, though, and that's important. Oh, okay, We Are Pro Wrestling. Yeah, they did have a lot of that on there. And there's that whole, they filmed an entire documentary for WrestleMania 9. And it never saw the light of day. And I don't know if any, aside from the clips that we've seen, you know, if that will ever be released. What is going on here? The Hurricane is in the girls' room. Okay, let's just have two random girls taking out their... I don't know who any of them are. Oh, my God. You got to give me a break. Oh, The Godfather. I was about to say, is it... Oh, my God. Are you okay? The Godfather's here to protect you. So this is way after he's done being good father and stuff. He's back to being normal Godfather. That's good. I'm glad. I don't feel like he feels complete without Hose, you know? All right, Undertaker and Flair, here we go. Good, they'll probably show some of this David Flair stuff. Good to see you, Vash. Thank you for that, man. I can't believe that Ric Flair insinuated himself into this match. I hate hearing about Flair's confidence issues. I'm like, suck it up, man. You're fucking Ric Flair. Got no business having no confidence. Stop being dramatic. Get out there and do your job. You're professional. You're Ric Flair. Oh, yeah, he gets to Arn first. How crazy would it have been? Remember Ric Flair's retirement? And Undertaker came out and saluted him. Would have been funny if he just nailed Flair. Oh, my God. Yeah, so I guess David was really training to maybe work in WWE. He was the punchline of so many jokes from WCW when they were putting him on TV. God, he's insane. How has Flair not had a heart attack in the ring before? Oh, there's San Antonio. That's where Nitro. That's where Dynamite was the other night. I recognize that building. Is that Paul London? Oh, who's that? Who's the cop? I recognize that cop. I don't know who he is. I remember back in my hotline days, there was this running joke that one of them would do that would sometimes co-host with me. And every week we would do like we would listen to the messages on the voicemail system and ask people to send in their dream matches for David Flair, and we would read them on the next report. And so I was like, all right, we got some dream matches this week, and it would always be David Flair versus like the most ridiculous inanimate object that you can think of. Ric Flair or David Flair versus a jar of peanut butter. And then I'd be like, well, it's going to be tough. I mean, despite all of, the legacy of the Flair family and, a lot of David's God-given ability, I'm going to go with the peanut butter. We would make this long, drawn-out thing, just as running joke. Yeah, just anything. David Flair versus a VCR, a bag of forks, anything that you can think of, we would say. And we'd always say that Flair would lose to whatever he was facing, no matter what. Pile of dog shit against David Flair. I'm going to go with the dog shit. And we always had to answer it that way. I'm going to go with the dog shit. You had to be there for it to be as funny as I'm making it sound. Here he comes on his little motorcycle. The flaccid muffins. Rolling. Take her on his motorcycle. I don't want a pickle. I just want to ride my motorcycle. That is a real song. I heard it when I was a kid. I've never heard it since, but I specifically remember a song where the guy says, I don't want a pickle. I just want to ride my motorcycle. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Yeah, anytime you have WrestleMania with this amount of rampway space, riding your little bike is fun. What did Angle call his motorbike? His motorbike. Ooh, David Flair versus David Sammartino. That's a good one. I'm gonna go David Sammartino. I think David will. At least David Sammartino looked like a wrestler. He had his dad's build. He was, stocky and real thick like that. David Flair just looked like your average college sophomore, in the University of buttfuck nowhere. Just a normal, everyday, average-looking doofus. And he was in the ring and dating Tori Wilson. Like, what the fuck's going on here? At least Sammartino, he had the body at least going, but he just sucked otherwise. So, yeah, I'm going to go David Sammartino, and I'm going to go David Sammartino in a squash. I think he'd kill David Flair, murder him. I think in a real fight, Bruno Sammartino would fuck Ric Flair up. So I'm sure the same would be the case with the Suns. I saw Taker almost running over the stagehand. Maybe that stagehand was the dude in charge of the pyro at that Elimination Chamber match. Could be. Whatever year that was, poor Taker got fried crispy coming out. It is funny, too, back when they burnt Taker at the Royal Rumble in the casket, and the next night, Shawn and Triple H were like, how do you like your Undertaker? You're like a medium rare. And I'm like, well, wait a few years and you're going to find out. Oh, Flair taking it to Taker. They're over the announce desk already. Taker got fucking Pittsburgh style on that chamber match. Well, let me think. Shit, Ric Flair WrestleManias. This is only the second one, right? WrestleMania 8 was it. So, yeah, he can be 0-2 in them red tights. He was wearing red against Savage, too. Who's the big guy there in the front row? Basketball player. Got to be a basketball player. He's huge. Dude with the headband. 2010 was the pyro incident. Get up, Ric Flair. I mean, even for his age, Ric Flair was still in really decent ring shape here. I mean, he's very, very flabby, but who cares? As long as you throw a punch, which he can. Wow, Flair's last 4 WrestleManias, Taker here. Money in the Bank, that's right. He was in the Money in the Bank match. That's crazy that Ric Flair's actually participated in one of those. That seems like such a modern concept to me. The fact that Flair's been in that match is crazy. And a pre-show tag match with Carlito versus The Miz and Morrison at 23. God. What? I don't remember. What the hell was he teaming with Carlito for? And man, this is the most random-ass match I've ever seen ever. And then Shawn at 24, of course. I don't know if it was Vince Carter. Let me see. Who did Vince Carter play for back then? This is 2002. Was Vince Carter in Toronto yet? Or Vince was... Who the hell was Vince Carter with? Who did he get drafted by? Went to North Carolina. I know he played for Toronto. Did he play for Houston? Or no, this is... Oh, yeah, this is fucking... They're in Toronto. I'm thinking they're in the Astrodome last year. It might have been Vince Carter. I don't remember what year, what team he was on and what year. Might have been Vince Carter. Didn't look like him, though, to me. Plus, he looked taller. He might be a baller. I'm sure he has a girl he could call her. Jerome Williams. Okay. Yeah, Jerome Williams. I was still pretty frequently watching the NBA back in those days. Just a Cub. My Pistons were just starting to get good in 2002. They're starting to make the playoffs. They're starting to bubble. Next year they would get there. And they would put down the Lakers. Oh, yeah, Flair won at WrestleMania 20. Yeah, I didn't think it looked like Vince Carter to me. That Flair, can you make your blade job even more fucking obvious? Taker's already got some. Maybe that was the David Flair receipt on the side of Booger Red's face there. Oh. Yeah, I didn't catch how did Taker catch the gaff on his cheek there? I must have missed it. Must have been hard way. Damn, he is wailing on Flair's head. Jesus. Like now, something like that, if that was a shoot, could potentially kill Ric Flair. All that leverage Taker had, Flair completely unprotected, and Undertaker clubbing him as hard as he could 4 times. At least knocked him out, at the very least, and put him in the hospital. Oh, that's awesome, Vash. You were in California in the Navy or last year there in 2004 when the Pistons won in 5 games. I remember I had a buddy that I worked with who was also from Michigan, down in North Carolina. We worked together. And so when the Pistons made the finals, we're like, well, we should go out. We went to a Buffalo Wild Wings with another friend, and he joined us. And we basically went there to watch the Lakers beat the Pistons. I was like, I think they were favored. And I just knew that as a Detroit sports fan, I was probably going to be disappointed. But we were at least going to root for the Pistons anyway, hope for the best. And earlier that season, I think they made that deal for Rasheed Wallace, and that was the game changer. He was the last little piece they needed to give them just one of the best starting fives I think that has ever existed. And they fucking own the Lakers. And the whole time of game one, we're watching them like they're winning. They're keeping Lakers at bay. They're doing a great job defensively, and they won the game. And then I think in game two, they had the lead all the way up till the end. And then Kobe hit a last-second three-pointer to win it. And if it weren't for that, it would have been a sweep. And then Detroit went home and I think won all 3 games at home and won on their home court. Fucking beautiful. My God. As a Pistons fan, I was so happy to see that they're reborn and maybe overcoming some of that legacy of the bad boys years when they were considered a dirty team. The Pistons were like a team, you know. There wasn't one single standout star. Any of those guys could have taken that final shot. Maybe not Ben Wallace, but the other 4, Rip or Chauncey or Tayshaun or Rasheed, any of them from behind the line are dangerous as hell. And then they fucked it all up the next year with the Malice in the Palace and embarrassed us again. Hopefully Flair won't get fined this time for this. Jesus, Flair selling good. A lot of blood on Flair. Man, I was on cloud 9, man. I was so happy watching that. And I always liked the Lakers. Like, even I had to grow up. They faced each other in the finals in the 80s. And my dad went to Michigan State with Magic Johnson. So it was always nice to see Isaiah and Magic, like, kiss before the game. And because they were bros. And I always kind of grew up rooting for the Lakers if the Pistons were out. You know, Pistons obviously first, but because of Magic and the Michigan State stuff, I always found myself liking the Lakers. So it's fitting that I wound up moving out here because I've always considered them a home team anyway. Yeah, I don't think Ric Flair's going to get fined for this one. Blood was A-OK in 2002. The more the merrier. Jesus Christ, a superplex? Are you kidding me? Wow. Holy shit. I would have been, if this was live and I was watching this in person, I'd be very scared that one of these guys was going to kill themselves on that spot. But that was incredible height. I mean, to be honest, I don't know when the last time I watched this match. It's definitely been more than 15 years. Or 10, maybe. Flair took that bump like a boss, too. Any indie wrestlers in the chat or anybody like that? What's it like taking a superplex bump? My God, I just would not want to take it. I wouldn't be too freaked out about delivering one, other than just praying to God I don't hurt the poor bastard. But taking one, just being upside down like that and on a rope that high up, man. It's an unbelievable amount of trust. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, you know, type of thing. I like that legit cut that Taker's got on the side of his cheek. Looks badass. Yeah, the Showtime Lakers, and the Pistons finally beat them. I think Lakers beat the Pistons the one year, and then Pistons finally were able to rebound. I think Magic might have been out, though, when they won in 89 or whatever it was. But they put up a hell of a fight in the finals the previous year, too, against the Lakers, and I think might have lost in 7. My God. Yeah, and the old school Bad Boys, it was their starting five was Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Lambier. A lot of times James Edwards would be the center. And who the fuck was in the other spot? Not Vinnie Johnson came off the bench. I forgot who the other star. Oh, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman. And they bring the microwave off the bench to fucking put the dagger in teams. Ugh. I was like, Bill Laimbeer was such an asshole, but he was our asshole. I'm sure all of you who are fans of a certain team has had an asshole or two on your team too. Oh my God. I loved when Ric Flair would bleed because his hair would stand up. He almost looks the exact same as he did in WrestleMania 8 with that amount of blood and that bleached blonde hair and the red gear. I was waiting for him to kiss Elizabeth. Oh, man, we were just about to lose her, too. I think the following year, I think. Or it might have been this year. Can't remember if it was 02 or 03. I think it was 03. Pretty sure it was 03, but, man. Old school. Oh, Flair's going to stop the old school, huh? How many times has the old school been countered? So I take it Undertaker's still with Sarah. I just get that feeling. Ric Flair's booger red. Lawler, sometimes. I didn't catch that. Did you? Were they mentioning the streak at this point? Or mentioning that he's undefeated? I don't think they really were using the word streak yet. During my my hotline days the previous year, I did WrestleMania 17 predictions, and I predicted that Triple H would beat The Undertaker. I said he will be the guy to beat The Undertaker for the first time at WrestleMania, because back then, he was like 9-0 or whatever he was, or 7-0, and I just didn't think it was that crazy yet. And I'm like, oh, what a feather in Triple H's cap to be the first guy to knock off Taker. And then I predicted Triple H to win at 17, and then after that, and maybe even after this one, I started understanding. I'm like, oh, I might not be beating him ever now. Oh, what's Flair got? It's a lead pipe, and by lead pipe, I mean a empty paper towel roll painted with a Sharpie. Maybe not that low tech. Yeah, that's right. Bulldog was in May of 02. I want to say Elizabeth might have been May of 03. Oh, that thing goes rolling. Look at that thing rolling. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was rolling right out of the ring. Maybe they're using the pipe as an homage to how much pipe Ric Flair laid down in every town he was in throughout his career. Oh. What does that sign say? Keep out? God, Flair's a bloody mess, ain't he? Little Nate. So glad he's the ref. Oh, really? Strange Pete? Okay, that's good. I'm glad that they were mentioning it. I mean, it was hard to... Oh. I'm glad, because they could have ended it so much earlier, after 9 or 10 or 11 matches. Oh. Low blow. Oh. Right in the under testicles. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Flair. Blood on his teeth. You always loved the blood on the teeth. Always looks great. The way Austin's was doing it at 13, so awesome. Oh, my God. Flair still kicking out. I don't know if does he eat a tombstone for the win here? Oh, my God. Nage took that. See, if the ref's going to be selling for a long time, at least have a bump that looks good. That one did. JJ Leg, get your ass in here before I tap you out. I'm gonna put you in the sharpshooter, but then when you're tapping out, I'm not gonna let go, and I'm gonna keep it on you like Brett did to Lawler at SummerSlam '93, and then they're gonna reverse the decision, and you're gonna win. Spinebuster from the Enforcer to Taker. Oh, I forgot that happened. Flair all the way out. Oh, Arn Anderson threw a spinebuster at WrestleMania. He has not been in a Mania match since WrestleMania 5. So Arn is 1-0 at WrestleMania, I think. Brainbusters over Strikeforce. It's the only Mania match I can remember him in. Look at Arn selling. He had to retire too early. I think he would have realistically probably been retiring close to right now, in 02. But I think when all that went down in 97, he had 5 years left in him for sure. Look at the way he's moving around. I think it would have been fun to put tag team gold on Arn and Flair, in like 03 or 02, just for fun. Yeah, this match I remember talking about at home how much it was exceeding my expectations. Way better than the ugly-ass match that Taker would have with Hogan at Judgment Day for the title. Any more run-ins? Oh, man. What's going on here? Was that a botch, or they were just telling the story of Flair fighting the... Oh, he's just going to tombstone him. I get it. Flair don't want to cooperate with the last ride. Oh, my God. That was pretty good looking, too. That's it. He ain't kicking out of that. Nice. Okay, yeah, so he basically fought his way out of the last ride, but Taker's like, cool, I got plan B, which is really my plan A. Tombstone. 10-0. 10-0. He'd win another 11. Fucking crazy. He was only not even halfway through the streak at this point. That is mind-blowing to me. Oh, and he took out Lil Nage. Take them all out. That's a whole lot of WCW carnage in the ring right there. Yeah, Plane Ride from Hell was coming up. That's right. Yeah, he did have a issue with the one last week, too, when we watched WrestleMania 21. Oh, yeah, look, he's doing the thing. That's cool. 10-0. Oh, shit. I don't even want to see it. Like, I don't care much about March Madness, but I do know that Michigan State played Duke, and I'm pretty sure Michigan State lost to Duke, and they did. Okay, just thinking that there might be some happy upset that I'd get to witness, but nope. As usual, ACC continues to own my Big Ten, and that's why I just do not watch any March Madness at all. And he's rolling back. What was it? When did it happen that, like, was it Hogan that couldn't start the bike or something? We have to talk about Michael Cole's tips. Like, what's happening? He's the lost Backstreet Boy. Booker's wearing glasses. Oh, wait, is this right after Weakest Link or something? And now he's got to defend himself. He goes, I am not a moron. I got glasses. Look at me. Oh, he's facing Edge. That's right. You just pull off chunks of Cole's hair and just use it as cereal. Booker is just fucking fabulous. I love him. He should have had a way better run. Like, he should have had a run as a champion here. Like, I know he got the title and everything. And I've even said myself that I don't think the Triple H win at WrestleMania is as big of a travesty as people are making it out to be, even though I totally agree that Booker should have won. When you see how good he was here, I'm like, why the fuck was this guy not champion, you know? He's fantastic. This would have been a perfect year to give him a 6-month run with one of those titles. Here he comes. Yeah, it'd be cool to see. I don't think Booker T. I don't know how good he would be in AEW. He was on the Jericho cruise, and it was pretty funny. He did like a kind of a one-man podcast, and I filmed a lot of it. And he basically kicked off the thing right off the bat by saying something to the effect of addressing the crowd, saying, hey, a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why I'm here when I'm like a WWE guy, and the reason I'm here is because I'm Booker T. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I thought it was the best response. I'm like, yeah, he's just like, I can do what I want. I came here because I wanted to, and they can't stop me type of thing. And I was like, oh, maybe he's annoyed with WWE or something like that. But since then, he always seems like he's kind of a company guy when he does interviews and stuff. Oh, we're not getting the we're getting the actual Rob Zombie version here. Okay. And I think we've watched a show since that we've heard this theme on too. So for some reason, this is one theme that they do not edit. I mean, I'm sure they do, but they might not. I've never pulled up anything on Peacock that had a CM Punk match from 2011 to 2014. Cult of Personalities on there, right? Have they edited any Cult of Personalities out of CM Punk matches? They should, just to, like, spite him. Because they like to do shit like that. That's right. Edge was in this building the night that Hogan faced Warrior. That is kind of a trip. I would have never gotten that opportunity. WWE never went back to the Silverdome. But I don't remember who wins this either. I think Edge does. Does he win the shampoo? So that means he wins the shampoo deal? Oh, yeah, I don't know much about Roxy, but I've seen the shit about her. And I know that she's signed. Good. I don't even think I've seen a match of hers or why she's got a good reputation. But that's good if they've picked up somebody worth getting. Oof. Yeah, if I was a aspiring wrestler, I was looking to get into the business and I wanted to train to be a wrestler, I'd take a very close look at Booker T's school. I'd be honored to be trained by his crew. If I had the money to choose anywhere I wanted to go in the country, that would make it hard, but you'd probably want to stick to your area where you live and whoever's near you. Yeah, Edge would miss 19 and 20, right? I think Edge came back like the week after 20. Or maybe the night after Mania and 20. Is that when he came back? Oh. Oh, man, the old school Edge theme from 98. WWF The Music Volume 3. And somebody brought it up. I can't remember who it was on Twitter now, but I remember a couple weeks ago when Edge debuted that new theme, and I guess this is the first time that the You Think You Know Me has not opened up any one of Edge's songs. Even with the previous song, they worked it in. And everybody's praising the new song for him. Say it really fits him. Alter Bridge, I don't know shit about them either. But everybody is saying good things about the song. Like when I hear it, it doesn't strike me as just like the greatest shit I've ever heard or anything. I certainly don't hate it at all. And it's better than some of the other generic shit WWE's been putting out there. So it's another one of those themes that it's going to have to grow on me like they all do. I never love any theme when it first starts, but I give it just a couple weeks. I'm sure I'll be right on the bandwagon with it. Oh yeah, they're talking about this. So that is the weakest link shit they're giving him. They're ribbing him for. I like the silver on Booker's boots. How often do you look at another man's shoes? Oh, God. Oh, God. Jesus. I was worried that on the Rana he was going to botch it, and then I was like, oh, he's okay. And nope, he did. And then Booker landed right on him. Yikes. Ugly. You can't really see it on camera. I have a mystery bruise under my eye right here. It's much more noticeable in the mirror. It's hard to see here, but it's like it doesn't even hurt, but it's clearly like a bruise, and I just am trying to rack my brain thinking of when I got this fucking bruise. The only thing I can think of is I do lay on the couch or in bed a lot with my phone, and I might have dropped it on my face, but I would have remembered that or something, so I'm like, I've just got a mystery bruise. So weird. I don't even drink. I haven't drank all week. This is the only beer I've had since probably last time I was streaming. So it's not like I got drunk and smacked myself in the face and forgot about it. Like I literally don't know where it came from. Maybe Elizabeth beats me in my sleep. I don't know. Hey, you got to acknowledge Teddy Long as a referee here. Come on. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are mentioning that too. I'm like, how did I go this long without not being like, yo, Teddy? My bad. I blame the gummy. See, I did an update on my phone too, and now my phone says I've got a photo notification. Like, I don't give a shit. Oh, a memory. Nope, Spinneroonie. Damn, look at the crowd. They're ready for this. That might have been one of the loudest crowd reactions of the night so far. Fucking Spinneroonie, man. Booker was over. JR said he tried to spin a Rooney. JR, can you please try it again and film it? There was no Twitter in 2002, but yeah, even Lawler wants a video of JR doing a spin a Rooney. Oh. In a scuffle with the mailman. I suck at checking the mail. Plus, I live in a house, but we have the deal where about 2 houses down, there's like a bank of mailboxes, and they're all there, so I got to walk a little bit to go get the mail anyway. And my key is always jams in it. Elizabeth handles it mostly, but I hate getting the mail. I never get any mail I need. Every piece of mail just goes right in the trash. I'm like, I don't need this, don't need this. Fucking 100 credit card companies saying, come join us. Well, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh, and he got him just like that with a spear. Damn it. I was rooting for Booker T in that one. His Edge is a dirty heel now with very weird hair. I tried to spin a Rooney once. Y'all would unfollow me if you saw it. It's the ugliest thing you've ever seen. All right, Edge over Booker T. Oh, I thought Helms was out of this with the title. He's still... Like, if you really want to protect this title, you would get the hell out of there. I would get in my rental car and drive to Arby's. Beef and cheddar, hotel, shower, call it a night. I go to bed champion. Oh, Molly, you're just a gem. Oh! You brained him with a cast iron skillet? You want to, like, maybe call an ambulance? That was not a frying pan. That was like a cast iron, heavy ass, I mean, rubber, but Scott Hall. Oh, Hall. He always does the Stone Cold and Scott Hall. Man. Boy, the minute, I mean, it was really crazy how the timing worked out. Like, the moment that Hall and Nash left, literally the next month was the Austin 316 promo. Like, crazy. Austin did so much in their absence. Kidnap Scott Hall. To me, this was really interesting and all, but it still felt off. Like, as a fan, I'm like, oh my God, if Austin and NWO ever came together. But then once they did, it was almost like, it felt like legit a year too late. The NWO just wasn't going to work this way. And seeing Austin and Hogan interact. And they would have, was it on the go home to this? Did they have the big handicap? It was NWO against Rock and Austin, right? I mean, that's a huge match, man. I mean, that's enormous. And I remember marking out for it and everything, but still, it didn't feel as great as it could have been. And here comes Austin. Angry Austin, not happy with what he's doing. was kind of being a baby around this time. I mean, this is kind of a normal thing. I mean, you're not always in the main event. Sometimes you're on the undercard. And so Austin just felt gypped. Not only was he not in the main event working for the title, he also wasn't working with Hogan, so it fucking bruised his ego. And I mean, I disagree with a lot of what he did, but I agree with a lot of his thoughts too, because, man, I thought he was so much cooler and more over, and he almost like even outcooled the NWO in a lot of ways. And when it came to comparisons to Hogan, there was none in my mind. I thought he was a better babyface and a better heel in a lot of ways than Hogan, and he was much more believable as a bad guy and a tough guy. And he was so crucial to WWE's success that when Hogan came back in, I wouldn't want to take a back seat to him. I'd almost flat out refuse to. I'm like, fuck no. I'm the reason I'm the reason this guy's even here anyway, because without me, his company would have beat you and you'd be out of business. You'd be working for him. And I'd be back there as fucking Stunning Steve again. So you have me to thank for Bischoff being the general manager of Raw and you not being the general manager of Nitro. So if you think that I'm going to take a backseat to Hogan, you can suck on my stone cold balls. I totally get it. I do. Yeah, Austin had some burnout too. But yeah, bringing the NWO in was crazy. I remember being fine with it. I wasn't like against it because I've always liked Hall and Nash. I was really sad to see them leave WWE. So to me, having Razor and Diesel back in WWE, the real Razor and Diesel back in WWE, was cool. Oh, here comes Nash. Quad intact for now. I've always just tripped out. One of my buddies, one of my old roommates, he and I loved the NWO music. Oh, Timmy White, shout out, referee. But this fuck, damn, just always cracked us up. I remember back in the Nitro days, he just thought it was especially funny. He's like, what is with this music? And I'm like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's awesome. And then learning that it was taken from a porn movie is like so perfect. I'm like, oh, of course it was. I wouldn't have accepted any other explanation. Man, we are running to the end of Timmy White's refereeing career too, aren't we? Is it the Hunter and Jericho Hell in the Cell that he gets hurt? That's coming up. Or it might be a different Hell in the Cell. I think it's that one. But that'll be in a couple months here. Proud member of the NW. Oof. Pretty awesome for Hall. I mean, he just kind of came back in, signed in February. He's got a match with Austin. I'm sure when that WrestleMania check came in the mail, it was pretty nice looking. Can you look that shit up? I'd be actually genuinely curious, just as a random fact, like what Scott Hall's payday for this event was. Like for this time period, 2002, I don't know. 100 grand or way more than that? Probably more than that. I probably lowballed him there. Nowadays, I think guys get like $1 million and shit. But back here, I don't know. I'd probably say he got 400 for this match. If I had to guess, I'd say Scott Hall got around 400. But I don't know how these pay scales are even generated. Oh, good chop. I remember kind of half-assed thinking that it wouldn't have fit in 2002. The Razor Ramon gimmick, in 2002 wouldn't have really matched up with how the business feels and stuff. And how the characters are, but it would have been fun. Like full-on accent, toothpick, everything. That would have been great. Oh, I didn't know he came back after that. Shit, he reffed Jericho and Christian. Had no clue that was the deal. I'm glad he tried to come back. I really cherish Timmy White's existence on the earth. I feel like he's our last connection, our real last connection to Andre that's still here and still is available to tell. Probably the most intimate stories of Andre you could ever hear in terms of who's still left alive. I mean, not even Vince. I mean, Vince didn't see a ton of Andre, you know. Andre traveled the world. It's not like he was with Vince for 30 straight years the way Taker was, you know. Hey, look, guys, Paul Ross is here. There's a sign in the crowd that said so. You might, if you're making notes from this, put that in, Paul Ross. Oh, they were working live events? Austin and National Hall. I can see that. That's generally what you did. I mean, what would have been interesting is if when Hall and Nash left, remember, they left right after WrestleMania 12. And Scott Hall or Razor Ramon lost to Vader. But they could have easily have chosen Stone Cold, who had just shifted from the Ringmaster character to the Stone Cold gimmick, started going by that. He still had the $1 million title, but he was Stone Cold now. So you could have easily put him in the ring with Razor instead of Vader and had Razor lose to Austin. It would have been a bigger win for Austin, I think, than it was for Vader, because Vader was already going to be positioned as a world title contender right out of the gate, regardless of, you know, that match. So they could have had Austin do it, beat Razor clean, then go on to win King of the Ring, and then here they meet back up in a rematch at WrestleMania 18. At least it would have made it a little more interesting. It's like, I knocked you out at WWE the first time, I'll do it again, bitch, or something. You know, Austin could have said some great shit here. So they should have done that. I wish we could rewind. I would have made the Good Friends, Better Enemies Razor versus Austin, not Razor versus Vader. No, yeah, Nash never did he? Never really did get back in the ring at WrestleMania. He's only worked, what, 2? 12 and 13? No, 11 and 12, excuse me. Oh, man, what happened to Hall there? Did you see that? It looked like he got stabbed. Did he take a stairs bump on the outside? He looks like he's been punctured right there on his, I guess on his left side. Nash is not in this match. JR laying down the law. Oh, boom. Oh, that was kind of a quick sell there. Ooh. Oh, fucking Nash, you took out Tim White. Nash is in the ring working with Austin. This is kind of crazy. Chairs. Here we go. I don't know how Austin gets out of this. I think fans are expecting maybe a run in here, but I think he just handles this shit himself. I mean, I don't know what Austin's bitching about. He's still put over hugely strong here. He basically takes out the outsiders by himself. Stuns them both. Still beats Hall, regardless of the fact that he's got a 7-foot backup out there. And they've used foreign objects, and he still wins. Oh, and he fucking elbow drops Jack down, you bastard. Big bump. I love that bump. Hall always takes the top rope bump good. Smacking him in the face. Jarrett sometimes just has the most random lines. Well, we got the Hall of Fame referee cast out there, and they've all been beaten up, so I don't know who's... Oh, Hall with a stunner on Austin. There's Tim. Come on, dude. And he kicks out at the last minute. Big stunner. Oh, I love it. He's going to hit him with a double. A double. Double animal style. That was so great. He ate 3, I think, stunners total in that match. He kind of just stood up on the first one and then ate the second one. I mean, I understand Austin's issues, you know, from a backstage perspective. I'm glad that he never held any of this against those guys because they put him over like a motherfucker there. I mean, Hall, Nash, and Hogan basically... when they came into the WWE, they were immediately sent to WrestleMania to do jobs. Austin basically beat the both of them in a handicap match. And then Rock would beat Hogan later. That was WWE's way of saying, like, yeah, you're here and you no longer have the political control that you used to. But then right after that, they put the belt on Hogan. I guess because they saw the way the fans reacted. But I remember as a wrestling fan being happy that that was the result. Because there would have been a lot of fans bitching if any of those guys could have gotten a win here. Just based on their rep. And signing them was pretty bizarre. I mean, everybody's all over the place emotionally about Cody Rhodes and WWE. Think about how fans felt back then about, you know, Hogan and Nash and Hall coming in after all of that history. It was crazy. Oh, he's drinking a Canadian Molson's. They're a little stronger. I used to drink Molson's back when I was a kid. Grew up on some Molson's. I don't know why. I just drank that shit a lot. Molson's and Red Stripe. Drank the shit out of that. Speaking of which, I need to go get one. I'm out of Stella Artois. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. What the hell is this? Oh, they're showing people going in the building? I still have a bunch of my tickets. I have my WrestleMania 15 tickets still. But there's some tickets I don't have that I lost that I wish I still had. Rob Van Dam, I quote, "It's nuts, but nuts in a really good way." Just sounded funny to me. I don't know why.
This thing, man, it's almost as big as the real one. Access is wonderful. I mean, every year it just gets bigger and better. He's not going to WrestleMania. I'll tell you that right now. You lose, Austin. Hey, but he's no coach. But God, he's much better than Michael Cole.
Oh, Triple H. Man, he was jacked when he came back, wasn't he? So crazy. I think when you're in recovery and stuff from injuries like that, they give you steroids, and it just makes you crazy. My cat's going through that. You should see Bub. All roided up. He got his roids today. Sleeping. What year? So this would have been 2002. I don't know what game shit they're playing here. WWE 2K2? Is that how it works? Well, look how young the Hardys look. Oh, yeah, the Big Show had that horrible haircut. Must have been funny for the NWO for Hall and Nash and Hogan to come into the WWE with Chris Jericho as the current champion. That's some poetic justice too, man. I cannot believe there is a statue of her ass. And fans can come up to it, put their hand on it, and take a picture. Jesus Christ. And we wonder why fucking dudes are such creeps and so fucking weird on social media. How many years were they doing Access up until this point? That's a pretty cool looking setup even for 2002. Feels like that's kind of new, or that version of it. Okay, Hardys, APA. Billy and Chuck are the champs, and the Dudleys. 4-corner elimination match. Okay. No idea who even wins this. Are they already in the ring or something? Oh, are we going to get a live thing or whatever? No? Yeah, okay, we're getting a live deal. I'm like, why is Fink announcing him first? Forcible entry. I actually think I do own that. Because I bought all those CDs. Just that was probably the last one I bought. Once we got to the forcible entry stuff, I was done. But those first like 4 albums, WWE albums, I always liked. After that, they started losing me with Pie. God, why did my nose itch? Jesus. So is this the band that sings their song? Stacy, my God. They're getting down with saliva. Stacy getting down with saliva. Interesting sentence, but not untrue. Yeah, she was easily not even close my favorite of that era. Previous era would have been Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth and Stacy. It's the creme de la creme. I don't even remember the songs that was on Forcible Entry. It was just a lot of these type of wrestler versions, probably like Kane's and maybe even Benoit's and guys like that. The Mania 95 Fan Fest, I'm sure, was a trip. I think they started in 94, actually. I think it was WrestleMania 10 was the first time I remember seeing that shit on TV. And then I think it progressively got better. And then by the time they got here, it was pretty elaborate. And I think now it's even crazier. I'm not sure if I'll go to it next year or not. I'm going to go to WrestleMania in LA, but I don't know if I'll do the access. I'll decide that probably by getting a lot of feedback from you guys when the time comes. But there might be more fun things to do instead of doing that. Stacey, I think she did date George Clooney. I think Tori Wilson, she dated Alex Rodriguez for a while, right? They might even still be dating. I don't know. Can't keep up with them. APA. How many times would they reclaim WWE Gold? Where were we at in APA's run here? 2002. They're probably getting to the point where they're about to split, I think, actually. Aren't they about to do the draft and then Bradshaw will kind of be a singles for a bit? So, yeah, I guess this is kind of the end, the tail end of, right, of APA. Very well could be. I'm not sure. But feels like it might be Ron Simmons' last WrestleMania. Yay or nay on that? Oh, it's AEW's Hardy Boys. Interesting. It's so weird to see a team that we associate with AEW so much appear in WWE like this, using the same song, no less. It's crazy. Here comes Matt. There's Jeff. They're dancing. They're young. They're doing their thing. I was 25 years old in 2002. Man. Oh, man, Divine, I might have missed your last super chat. I stepped away. I probably did miss it. Oh, yeah, I see it. Let me go back up further and just make sure. No, I think we're good on everybody else. I think it was just you. Sorry about that. Thank you for the 5 more. Imagine the invasion angle we had. D-Hex, HBK, and Triple H versus NWO National Hall with X-Pac guest referee. That would be a perfect place for X-Pac to be, because then he could choose who he wants to help win. You could center the whole thing around his decision, because he's been a referee before in shady situations. He was one with Sid and Razor Ramon back in the day. Billy and Chuck. When did the wedding happen? That would be a ways from now, right? So their run, I guess, was longer than I thought. This is only 2002. When did that wedding happen? When Bischoff did the deal. I thought it was cool that Billy Gunn had so many different tag team championship partners. Nuts. Yeah, man, if we could have gotten in 2001 if Shawn Michaels would have been ready, or if he wasn't dealing with the problems he was dealing with. Triple H hadn't have gotten hurt, and Hall and Nash had agreed to come in early. There would have been a lot of factors to get that match done during the Invasion angle. Everybody was pretty much unavailable, but if that match ever would have been able to happen, it would have been pretty awesome. Especially during the Invasion angle, it would have made it feel like a lot more like an invasion with the two big factions like that going at it. All right, we got Bradshaw and I guess Chuck. Nope. Fallaway slam to Billy. Kick to Chuck. Bradshaw just whipping everybody. Nick Patrick is our referee for this. Great. Oh, yeah, and thanks for the super chat telling me about your last super chat, Divine. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That song was a trip. The Billy and Chuck song, I'm assuming you're talking about, AJ. I'm not really listening. I don't even think I could tolerate Billy and Chuck commentary if I was listening more closely. Who knows the asinine things that Lawler's saying. Oh, man, double team on Farouk. Not that kind. I knew he was going to say. I was trying to call it before he said it. Oh, Jim Ross. These two guys enjoy a good double team. My God. Every fucking line was like that. Nice. Lita is this Friday on Broken Skull. When is the Dudley one up? Is Bubba's up? I want to see if we can get a Cody one. DDT to Chuck, I think. No, it's Billy. Everything Bradshaw did look so painful. He did not play games. He just wailed on everybody. Stiff as a motherfucker. Oh, Bubba. I mean, there's a lot about Bradshaw I did like. I mean, I really liked the idea of like a somewhat more agile Stan Hansen. Oh my God, big clothesline. Billy sold the shit out of that. Like Bradshaw was maybe a slightly better athlete than Stan. And he's out. And he could deliver those fucking moves. Those crazy lariats and just do it with so much power. And they tried to push him a couple times. It just never really stuck until he became JBL. And they're out. APA's done. Yeah, I think Chuck Palumbo, he did a couple things. They had him packaged a couple times, but I think he was... What the fuck was that? That was the worst. It looked like Chuck blocked the DDT by doing a handstand, but then he sold it. Oh, man. Hardys and Dudleys at it again at WrestleMania. My God. But this time not in a TLC. But there's still a T out there. Yeah, Chuck was like repackaged as basically an American Badass knockoff. It was kind of like fake Diesel. How the girls scream. Jeff is extremely white. Look at Stacy. Oh, Jeff. Oh, my gosh. Slapped her on the ass, forced a kiss on her, and then threw her off the apron. That is a lifelong babyface Jeff Hardy doing that. Not lifelong, but mostly lifelong. Big doomsday-ish type of device there. I don't know what, between Billy and Bubba. Bubba Bomb to Billy. Jesus, Lawler. I'm going to go check on Stacy. Of course you are. Spaz Phoenix, what's up, dude? Thanks for the 5. What's up, Greg? It's a work. Also, I was at this WrestleMania. That's cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. You live up there. Toronto. That's cool. So you got that might be on one of my wish lists. That Hogan Rock energy would have been fun to feel. I've seen some great shit, but that's one I'm envious of for sure. That's cool. Oh yeah, I believe Palumbo. I believe he is still here. So is Jindrak. It's Sean O'Hare, who we've lost. What was Lita doing at this time? Was this during her injury? I saw Lita sign in the crowd. Or is there a women's match later? I don't even know this card. I don't know what's coming up. Come on, Bubba. Yeah, I think that was my favorite pairing they had of Stacy was when she was with the Dudleys. I thought she fit them well. Oh, I thought she looked really good in their gear. And the glasses sometimes. I thought it was all well done. I didn't like the test one. And who else was she with? She's with a couple others. The Dudleys I always thought was the best. It's when she looked the best. Okay, Lita's in the world women's title match, so she's about to get hurt right after that draft, I guess. Yeah, I was at Survivor Series 01 where I know Trish beat Jazz. So I know Trish was on top by that point. This is elimination. Yeah, okay. So APA's already gone. Oh, yeah, Steiner. I didn't like the Steiner one either. I don't think Stacy would have worked with the Dudleys in ECW, but I think she worked with them in WWF, if that makes sense. She just really added that something extra in terms of a draw, just the fans. Because back at this time, the fans, the way they would hoot and holler over the women and stuff, putting her with them in WWE was perfect. I think in ECW, she would be in a lot of danger there. She might not have fit that too extreme style, that grittier stuff, but she was perfect for this type of Dudley boy run. Oh, no kidding. Is Lita in the women's title match after Rock and Hogan? Poor women, man. Here you go. Here's the worst possible spot we could give anyone. We talk about a 60 some odd thousand people basically just needing a cigarette, like they just had sex, and now they're gonna have to watch a women's match buffer. Oh, Jeff with a really interesting haircut. Yeah, Gertner was so much better because he was so fucking foul. Like, all that shit was just so gnarly. All the stuff that he would say, I'm like, God damn. Even watching it back now sometimes, I'm like, what got over to an audience back then? And I know I was part of it. Just shake my head now. I'm like, so stupid. But it was great. And I liked him, too, because he was just so unimaginably hideous. Just that fucking gross-ass chest hair and everything. Like, oh. And so whenever he would... He was basically like X-rated genius. He was like genius if he was a... Oh, my God. If he was just a perverted deviant. Never loved the way Nick Patrick counted. Always hated it. He's a little better in WWE than he was in WCW, but man, he had the weirdest counts in WCW. I'm like, part of the count, that's part of the drama is like when you get like, oh my God, fucking Devon. They had a wide shot of that, so all you see is just Devon flying and then twist of fate. Here comes a swanton to Bubba. We might get an elimination here, maybe. Oof. Jeff landed that one pretty flat. He landed the one on Dynamite pretty flat, too. It was crazy. Uh-oh, we might get this here. Nope. Oh, Hardy all the way over Jeff. They've isolated Matt. Oh. What does he call that? It's not the twist of fate. It's the other one. I forgot what Matt calls that move. God. Well, we had to have at least one table bump, but that was just... Poor Devon. I wonder how they decided that, like when they're laying out this match. All right, who wants to take the table bump? Jeff? Nah, man. Done enough of that. Whose turn is it? They draw straws. Like, I don't know how it works. Now Jeff's going to swanton. Hit that one a little better. Oh, Famouser. Famouser to Jeff. Jesus. Jeff kicks out. Come on, Hardys. I didn't catch you put the table out. Actually, I don't know. Oh, Billy's in there. Title belt to the face of Jeff. Oh, man. That's it. They retained. Well, that's good. I'm glad they retained. I don't even remember how long their run was. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. I think it's Edge and Hogan beat them, right? So, yeah, that means they hold the belt for at least another month or so. 2 months, probably. Oh, Billy and... Did Billy and Stacy used to have something? Why does that ring a bell to me? Or maybe it was Tori. I don't know when Rico comes into this whole fucking thing. I'm not sure where Rico is on the timeline. If he's not there yet, I guess he's probably about to be there. Okay. There's Hogan. So he's telling Hall and Nash to stay behind. He's already baby facing it up. But Hall's like, I'm better than Austin. You got lucky. Oh, poor Molly's got it now. She needs to find some sanctuary. Oh my God. That was great. I remember that now that I see it. I just didn't know that's happened here. That's great. Yeah, she's not getting up from that. Can we see a replay of that, please? Oh, if this was Raw, we'd get a replay of it after the commercial break. That's so awesome. Well, here we go. It's time for Rock and Hogan. That's right. Hall and Nash do get somewhat involved here, I think. That was fucking awesome. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Poor Molly. I would normally never want to see something like that happen to her, but that was awesome. I mean, even for me, I fought with my emotions too about Hogan coming in. I was more on the WWE side back then. I liked what they did more than WCW. I look back fondly on WCW now, just like I promise you. Hit record right now on your phone or your device and just save this clip. I promise you now. Everybody who hates AEW, you fast forward 20 years from now, they're going to grow to appreciate how AEW was. They'll probably even say stuff like, I miss AEW, or I love the way they used to be, just the way I say about WCW now. So I didn't know how I felt about Hogan coming back in. But then once he got there, it hit me. I'm like, Hulk Hogan is back in the WWF. That's nuts. And then he's back in the Sky Dome at WrestleMania. I think the fans kind of just got caught up in that awesomeness of that notion. You never even thought that they'd work together again. It would have to take one of the companies dying for that to happen. That's why I like this Cody stuff, because I'm like, I hope this keeps happening. You know, I hope we get some really like shocking people jumping. Rock and Hogan. I always laughed how Hogan like bragged about his Hollywood movie run, like it's the worst fucking shit. Rock put him to shame. Hogan is nothing compared to The Rock in the movies. Might have stopped. There we go. Think we're back? I think we're back. We're back according to what I see. We just briefly paused there. In terms of where we are on the timer, we're still fine on my end. So I think we're just going to stick with the timer. If that messed any of you up, I have still maintained my match with Peacock here. Sometimes that happens. Fingers crossed. Yeah, of all times for that to happen, we don't want it happening during Hulk Hogan and The Rock. Yeah, 2-0 on pay-per-view versus Hogan. He'd face him again, right? In 2003 when he turned heel. All right, here comes Hogan. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Hogan came out to Hendrix. I always thought he did, but I could be wrong. I think on the original version, the pay-per-view version I have, it's Voodoo. But I don't know. I will never forget the title-winning choke slam delivered to Hogan. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Just from my memory. Because Hall came out to this, but Hogan used his Hollywood theme, and then he'd go back to Real American when they immediately slapped the yellow and red back on him. When Vince was like, oh, yeah, we can get a huge nostalgia money injection out of this. Oh, man, AJ, I wish I could go back in time and console you and let you know it was all going to be all right. And thanks for the $5. The NWO attacked The Rock and you were crying because you loved The Rock as a kid. That would happen sometimes. I was traumatized by a few things in the 80s that I saw growing up. The Ricky the Dragon Steamboat throat attack from the Macho Man when he rammed the bell into him. I remember really thinking that Ricky Steamboat was, got a crushed throat. I just couldn't understand that as a kid. I'm like, that sounds like it sucks. It sounds like it's something that'll make you never wrestle again. Jesus, listen to them. They're already popping like crazy. I mean, imagine if he would have came out to Real American in the red and yellow. They should have, if they could have seen that through, that would have made the crowd go even more nuts. I think Hogan can realize right now what's happening. He's like, oh, shit. Because there are certain cities in the country that I think Hogan could have gotten shit on. They're kind of lukewarm on the Rock. I think they might get a similar reaction maybe in New York. But I think there's plenty of places where this reaction would not have happened. But I think it was just the whole entire concept of Hogan being back in WWE. Anything he was doing in WCW just wasn't interesting at all at the end. So this was just, I think, it was surreal to so many fans that they just fucking ate it up, man. I wish there was a way to figure out what would have happened if this would have been Steve Austin coming to the ring right now and not The Rock, and what kind of reaction he would have gotten and where the crowd would have stood. Especially if they would have managed to figure out a way to not make Austin heel during the invasion, like if he remained babyface this whole time. Would the fans really want to boo him? I mean, it was really hard to want to boo Austin. Yeah, David, Real American playing in Canada, I'm sure they'd pop for it. They'd pop for it at WrestleMania 6. They'd pop for it again. Because he's not just an American, he's a real American. Listen to the fucking crowd. My God. Already with the Hogan. Even Rock's like, oh, Jesus. So they already know they got to do the reenactment of the Raw spot. Come on, we got to go do the turning to the side thing. But being able to rile up the crowd with that level of noise simply by moving your head is pretty goddamn awesome. And it's something that is tough to do. You have to be the right match, the right moment, the right time, the right audience. Everything has to literally line up about as perfectly as you could ever ask for. And we got that here. And you would argue that moments this great, could happen every couple of decades. So it feels like we are due for one. Like one of this magnitude. Yeah, Rock versus Hogan is definitely a match I didn't think we'd see. Hey, Hogan, 1983 called. That's what the sign said. Here we go. Bell is on. Bell is rung. All right, we got Kyoto, who's a referee. I mean, technically, and Hogan kind of looks cosmetically in the better shape than The Rock. in terms of his physique. The power of those pythons. That's crazy that Hogan is only 48 here. I guess that's about right. Yeah, I think Roman versus The Rock is the only really crazy, like, icon from one era versus another that's left, really, until we get to the next generation. And Roman Reigns and John Cena are completely retired, but they might come back to face somebody. But yeah, potentially the next guy could be Roman. This is so great. They have to do nothing. They could have sat down and played tiddlywinks, and the crowd would just be like, this is great. It's like all they have to do here is put on a passable match. That's it. And I think they did. Considering the in-ring condition of Hogan, he's never really been the best, even at his best. Now he's 48. Throwing those punches, talking shit to The Rock. Great stuff. Oh. Yeah, oh, Ali and Tyson, my God. Can we make it Falls Count Anywhere? That would be awesome. Yeah, I think by this point, I remember too. I think that was a lot of the chatter in the newsletters and stuff is that Rock is heading out, or he was going to go do the second movie, but you kind of knew that was really going to start being his focus. And he was off to the races after that, man. Just movie after movie, filming 2 movies at once. Dude is crazy. Like I said before we got cut off earlier, I definitely think The Rock is more recognizable in homes across the world than Hogan was back in his peak of popularity. I think Rock has eclipsed him. I mean, everybody still knows who Hulk Hogan is, no doubt, but Rock crossed over even way more than Hogan did. Nice. Now they're on the outside. It's so crazy. Same ring as Hogan and Warrior. Wish we could get Gorilla and Jesse calling this just for fun. Yeah, this is pretty much the end of The Rock. I mean, he'd be here till, pretty much SummerSlam to put Brock over. He'd win the title during that time. So he's here, maybe another 5 months, and then he's off to do the movie, I think. And then he comes back as Hollywood Rock, but he only hangs around for 2 months. Jobs to Goldberg, leaves again, and then returns the following year at WrestleMania 20, and that was kind of it. So I feel like we're really at the end of The Rock right now. The classic rake of the eyes. Crowd loves it. Hogan still undefeated at SummerSlam. That's true. Shouldn't have been, though, after WrestleMania or after SummerSlam 2005. Oh, I don't know what he was doing there. That's okay. He recovered. Good job, Hulk. Weird spear. Look at Hogan's face. He takes bumps and punches so weird. It's got to be tough though, like especially when you're getting older and trying to have a match, but you can only like kind of fall a certain way because you got, you know, so many titanium body parts in you. And you got to protect yourself and everything, where when you're young, you can just go balls out and land however you want. That fucking hair on Hogan is... He beat Andre the Giant with that move, and he did. Nice abdominal stretch. Oh yeah, I don't care what level of your experience you are. Like Hogan being able to be in that crowd and having that crowd going that crazy for him. He hadn't felt that in quite a while, like a long time, to that degree. I mean, he felt a lot of energy as a heel in WCW and stuff, but in terms of being that beloved by that many people at once, you'd have to take yourself back to when, you know, he was at the peak of his popularity in the 80s and stuff. So, yeah, that was probably a crazy experience for him. Divine Ricks, thanks for 5 more, dude. Rock only superstar to defeat Hogan, Cena, and Austin at WrestleMania. That's an incredible accomplishment. That is. He's beat the greatest. Undertaker's not on that list, but Hogan, Cena, and Austin, it's arguably the 3 biggest. Yes. I really like it when the crowd starts doing that, when they literally boo and cheer the individual moves. That's when you really got them. Rock, this happened to him twice, man. And the same thing would happen at SummerSlam. We watched that one last summer. Jesus, the Hogan chants, my God. I'm curious, like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody that was at Gorilla for this do any interviews or if any of that shit exists, but I'm wondering what they were thinking back there. They're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, are they fucking feeding stuff into the ref to maybe change direction a little bit in the match or what? Like, have him go a little longer, have him do this again, or I don't know. Or they just shut up and let it all happen, but... Finkel. God, Finkel and Hogan. Oh, Hogan, do you know how these things work? These type of announce tables weren't here last time you were in the company. These are our monitors. Wait a minute. Wow, Lawler and Hogan, too. Kind of cool to see them near each other. Yeah, Strange Pete. I'll grow out the hair. Hogan style, I'll bleach blonde it. Oh, my God. What a mess. Oh, the ref stops Rock. Do they do a table spot here? Does Hogan take a fucking rock bottom table bump? I think he might. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know. I'm just not sure if people knew to that degree. Like, I think maybe people could have suspected that there's going to be a big portion of the crowd there pro Hogan for sure. But the way they built the match, I mean, Hulk Hogan tried to murder The Rock. He should be charged with attempted murder the way they did that whole semi-truck deal. So how in the world could you possibly cheer him? I think it was just the nostalgia factor, but maybe they underestimated it and it was way bigger than they even thought. But I'm sure they were just jizzing themselves backstage like, this is great. This is 100 times better than we thought it could be. These two guys could have easily shit the bed. And instead, they gave us a Mania memory for the ages. Sharpshooter. Hogan might have it in him. Nope. Drag him. Yeah. And he doesn't have to break it. Well, referee's out anyway. Hogan tap into the sharpshooter. That is a beautiful sight to see. Just wish it would have happened in 93. Oh, that's a good bar. Is that what they call it? The kids say today? Bar? Good bar. Do I drop bars? JR. Rock's trying to revive in a very aggressive way. The referee. He really was, too. We want Brett. Are they really chanting that? Oh. $60,000 people just pop for a low blow and a rock bottom. Oh, now the ref wakes up and Rock kicks out. Crowd is so into this. See, I wish this would have been a really cool Mania to be at. Or at least just this match alone. I can imagine being in the seats like during near falls and shit, like turn around looking at the people next to you like, holy fucking shit. I mean, everybody is just... This match has every soul's attention in this building. Can you imagine if you were some schmuck in the bathroom and you heard the crowd during one of these near falls or something? Or during Hulk's hulking up? You're like, oh my God, I got to finish. Get out there. Get back to my seat. Now Rock has the belt. The weight belt. Oh. Man, that is some Bianca Belair hair whipping right there. Jesus. It's all right. It's just leather on leather. It's just a leather belt on Hogan's leather skin. How bad can it be? Rock bottom to Hogan. He took that one okay. Up and there, he's kicked out. Here he goes. He's hulking up. The crowd's shitting themselves. Oh, my God. So great. That's just an amazing crowd reaction. Even the security guards have got to be marking out, you know. Here it is, 3 punches. Big boot. Now the Warrior moved out of the way of the leg drop. I think Rock eats it. He just kicks out. Rock kicked out after a quick 2, too. He didn't even wait that long. And he kicked out strong. Man, these fans, my God. Oh. Yeah, I guess they must have had some pretty good idea how the crowd was going to react here, considering they got the babyface turn planned at the end of it. But, man. I guess I just misjudged it. I thought a pro WWE audience would hold some resentment towards Hogan, but it was not. It was the nostalgia was too much, and it overcame it. Rock bottom number 3. Oh, and he nips up too. Oh, people's elbow. Oh, so the fans are popping for that, though. Such a stupid move. He didn't even look like he hit him. Oh, and he beat him with that. I was thinking he beat him with a rock bottom. Holy shit. He beat Hogan with the people's elbow, the most ridiculous move. I guess I knew that. I just forgot. But I'm glad that Hogan did the job clean. It's what he should have done, coming back into the company after all that time. You're not going to jump ahead of the line. Everybody else here has been working their asses off. You're going to come here and do the job. And it's very similar, if you think about it, to what WWE did with Brock Lesnar in 2012. When he came back, what was the very first thing he did? Job to John Cena. When I thought he was going to come in and never lose a match, he loses on his first night. And that blew my mind. But I'm like, that's WWE's way of saying just we're in charge, and this is a reminder of that. But then after that, they were put over like crazy. But they had to be shown humbleness in the beginning. Yeah, so I guess Nash and Hall never really gotten involved in that. I was thinking they might have made an appearance. I know they do here at the end, but I thought they might come out for the match too. I mean, it's definitely a match I'm glad we had. Hogan's a shithead, but this is a pretty epic moment. This would have been perfectly fine to be the main event. Yeah, Hogan did the right thing. I don't know, though. I mean, if I'm The Rock, I'm still like, you did try to murder me on Raw. Murder, which is die, which means the person, the victim of murder, is dead. Is what murder means. Which means I would be the dead one and you'd be the alive one. And you want me to shake your hand? That'll be a hard no. Yeah, I draw the line at attempted murder. That's kind of like where my line is in terms of shaking your hand. I don't know where y'all's is, but that's just where there's no coming back from in my mind. But maybe you guys disagree. Somebody tries to kill you, you might go out for coffee later. I don't know, but me, nah. Hogan had to know if he could beat him. Why couldn't have this been the outcome at SummerSlam 2005 with Hogan eating a super kick and shaking Shawn's hand? Oh, yeah, now outsiders are here all mad. And now Rock's going to come down and save him. So, yeah, obviously they kind of knew this was going to be the reaction because they had the immediate plan here to turn Hulk baby right here. Boom, Nash attacks. Look at The Rock. You can see his silhouette in the entranceway. Are you going to come run into the ring or what, Rock? So you know what I think would have been even cooler here is if Austin joined Rock and they took out the outsiders and then Rock and Austin stood side by side and they kind of reached out their hand and both shaked Hogan's hand and welcomed him in. Basically, it was the two top guys in WWE saying, okay, welcome back, endorsement kind of thing. Might have even made his transition into the red and yellow even that much better, especially that night that he had the big tearful ovation from the fans. And, you know, it'd be WWE's way of kind of acknowledging, like, okay, you're here and you've got the blessing of the other two guys, but Austin was in such a weird place and all of that. But it would have been cool. Yeah, I mean, if WWE really wanted to make Brett the way they wanted, I mean, imagine that if he were to have that track record in '93, tapping out Warrior, Macho Man, and Hogan, it would have been similar to runs of guys like Austin and stuff. Yeah, AJ, even with Brett, I love Brett and everything, but he's trying to kill me, then I just gonna have to maybe be have to find a different favorite wrestler. I do have to draw a line at murder. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think it's really, really reasonable. Bermuda Championship Wrestling, is that a thing? You want some in there? They got to pose. I love Hogan selling the ribs, unless he really maybe cracked one here. He might have. Yeah. They should have played Real American here and done the posing. Hey, Bub has just jumped right up here next to me. Let's get some posing. That D's Nuts has been all over this pay-per-view. That D's Nuts sign. They do this shit with no music? How can you pose without music? There's the music. Yeah, this match really made this pay-per-view. I mean, it hasn't been bad by any means, but without this match, it'd be pretty weak, yeah? You know? Taker and Flair was fun and everything, and a couple other things, but man, without this, I don't even know where this Mania would rank. Yeah, environment is everything. You know, Hogan was getting virtually no reaction at the end of WCW. You know, he'd come out in arenas. There'd be a lot of people cheering for him, of course, but he was largely boring at the end there, especially when they tried to red and yellow him again in like '99, and they went back to that in WCW. Those were the days I just thought Hogan was not over at all. I thought that was it. I was like, the run is over. He had a great babyface run, a great heel run. Now he's trying to, you know, go back to yesterday, but it just was in the WCW environment, which sucked, and they were getting their ass kicked by WWE. But then when he comes back to WWE and returns to that audience, it was all reborn again. Dude had a third run, you know, brief, you know, but really kind of set him apart as being the true Babe Ruth. Hogan putting over Rock one more time. Oh, WWF New York. Is it still called that? Yeah. Big Show. That is not a good haircut. Oh, man, they sent Big Show to WWF New York. He didn't get to be at WrestleMania. That's effed up. Yeah, who's a little kid? Hey, buddy, what do you want? Oh. Canadian sponsor Pizza Pizza. Is that like a Canadian chain? 68, 237 is what they're saying. Yo, that's my microphone cord, buddy. All right, well, since Bub is here, I'm going to go to the fridge and get some of his food out and just feed him right here. Stay there, bud. Never mind, he's getting no food because I left it downstairs, so nothing for you. All right, so this is the poor women's match. So is this a multi-woman affair here? Is this Jazz coming down? Oh, she's champ, okay. Jazz is champ. And you said Lita is in this match? This sounds like some edited as hell music, too, for Jazz. I don't recall what her theme sounded like, but it definitely wasn't this. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that was her actual music. Sounded bullshit, though. All right, Lita. Oh, is this a live thing for her, too? No. So this must have been when she first started using this. Was this the debut of this song for her? Because they would change kind of the intro of that, I think, as they went. She looks so weird dancing around like that. Jazz, Lita, Trish. Thank you. I was curious because I don't. Every time we watch a pay-per-view, I try not to like look at the Wikipedia or the match listing. Most of it I know, but some of it I don't, and a lot of it I forget. So it's kind of fun to watch it, not knowing who's coming out and stuff, while you guys can experience my forgetfulness firsthand. I think I've got the WrestleManias pretty much. I could list the card all the way up until maybe WrestleMania 15. Right around that time is when it starts to blend. But prior to that, I remember everything about those WrestleManias. Trish is in the Canadian gear. I like it. What's up, bud? I'm sorry, I left your turkey downstairs, so I don't have any food for you. Little guy's doing well, by the way. He's standing right next to me right now. We are now entering week number 5 of him having this incredible turnaround, and he continues to do well. No, don't quiz me. Yeah, 15 was a terrible Mania, and I was there. I had to go through some. Back then, it was interesting the way you got tickets. I had to, like, I still have my letter. So basically, I had to get, like, a pre-sale. Because back then, in those days, WrestleMania, in those years anyway, they were just in regular arenas, 20,000-seat arenas. So I was using my contact in WWE to get an early kind of like, I guess it would be the same thing as a pre-sale, I suppose, but it was something I had to mail away for months before the tickets even went on sale. And then I got a letter from WWE, and I still have the letter because it has the WWE letterhead from the Stamford office. And inside was the information and the form to fill out to send back to get the tickets sent to me. And I ended up getting my WrestleMania 15 tickets before they went on sale, which was weird. But I was still like in the upper deck, and, you know, I didn't pay too much for them. Or I did, but it was like I didn't spring for really expensive seats because I didn't have that much money back then. But it was an interesting way to get the tickets, and I just remember having to mail away for everything and what a pain in the ass that was. Now just click of a button, and then the tickets go on your phone, on your the wallet app on your phone, and then you're good to go. Get her. Oh, nice. Roll through. Lita really helped her on that. Okay, help me out here. Is Trish a babyface? I think, or is she? I don't know. The only one I know for sure is a heel is Jazz, right? Lita's a face. I don't know what Trish is. No, Monique, not going to WrestleMania, but I am going to Double or Nothing. I've already got my tickets, and they're good ones. Yeah, I remember I used to go to all the shows I used to go to. It wouldn't even be paper tickets. It would be tickets, like actual tickets with a stub and everything, you know, and then you can get, then it would evolve into paper tickets with a barcode that they can scan, you know, but I was doing that for years, you know, and even with plane tickets and stuff, I still remember having to have actual plane tickets like mailed to me in the mail to go get on a flight. And that's nuts to think about now. Oh my God, that's an ugly cell on that backdrop. What's up, buddy? Well, I guess I've got some treats over there. I'm going to be right back and get them some. Stay there, guys. All right, there we go. I've got this big thing of these things that he really likes. So if he comes back, I am now prepared to give him food. What did I see today involving Stone Cold? Something about him potentially main eventing night one with Owens? Or that segment being the main event? You know. If that main evented night one and you haven't debuted Cody yet, that's probably where you would do it. You could have Seth come out and just make it, just be a nuisance in the whole thing. And then Cody comes out. Oh, Trish is really hung up. Wow, my God. Poor Trish. Yeah, so that they might be setting up. That might be the Cody debut there. We might not get him on Raw. They might tease the shit out of us in the next couple of Raws before we get to Mania. And then perhaps Seth just comes out during all of that because he's technically still mad at Owens too because he lost to him on Monday and just gets in the way of that. Ugh. And then Cody comes out to even up the odds. Oh, Jazz retains. Nice. Well, that match didn't appear to be too bad. So, yeah, with them closing night one, that changes everything in my mind. To me, that reeks of where Cody will debut in my mind. And if that is the case, that's the first time, technically, that like a segment is main evented at WrestleMania, right? Oh no, there's Maven. And Maven is made away with the title that he showed up with. Oh my God, he's the... Oh, you bastard. And he's going to leave in the car. Damn, he's hanging way out of that car. Poor Christian. I have that exact same jacket that Christian is wearing, and I wore it during that time period. It still hangs in my closet. I don't know why. I'll never wear it again, but... And here we go. The main event. Triple H, Chris Jericho. We're going to get a live performance because Howard's announcing early. So Motorhead does it again. So did they help me? Did they... Oh, no, this is not Motorhead. Okay. Or is it Motorhead? Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, it's this forcible entry song. So Motorhead did play him twice, though, right? I was thinking this was them here, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did he get 3 Motorheads? I do think he got 2, though. I think it was like 17 and 21, I think he got, right? Was he using this theme at all? I wasn't sure if he had an in-between one. I just remember the My Time and then the game and then when he had the King of Kings. I actually kind of like My Time. I like that version. Might even be low-key my favorite. That's a pretty cool visual, though, of Skydome there and Triple H. Yeah, so they literally only had one match in between this and Rock and Hogan. Triple H might just be mad. Those motherfuckers tore the house down. Crowd's gassed. And I got to go out here with Chris Jericho and try to win the championship. Wait, should I be turning this down? I do not want any problems with because I'm playing this stupid song. Yeah, so this whole damn show was just a forcible entry commercial. Yeah, My Time wasn't a long-lasting theme. Maybe his theme was similar to Mick Foley's and The Rock's as they evolved. There was like 3 versions of them. There was like kind of the bare bones version, and then it got spiced up a little bit as they went. And when Triple H first turned heel, he had something that was similar to My Time, but not My Time. Oh, yikes. I didn't know that. That's a bummer. The singer of Here died a few months after this. Bummer. Yeah, that's one thing wrestling fans and fans of rock and roll have in common is that we experienced death more frequently than anybody else does. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Triple H looks a little pale. Hope he's all right. Looks kind of sick. He might want to get himself spray tanned just so he doesn't, out here out looking like Casper. And here comes Jericho. Poor Jericho had to carry those 2 titles around, and then as soon as Triple H wins them, he gets presented the new title, which he then coughs up to Hulk Hogan. I did not like that at that time. And he's got Stephanie with him. Main event of WrestleMania for Jericho. Pretty awesome. That Goldberg shit went down, I think, in 98 is when all that happened. So that was mere 4 years later, this guy's main eventing the big one. Triple H, the shape he's in is ridiculous. Oh, so he re-injured the leg. Okay. Well, of course he's going to target that. So they're making it sound like Triple H is also at a huge disadvantage because his leg is hanging on by a wire. I forgot what happens after this. So Jericho obviously loses the titles, but does Stephanie remain with him? Do they do a blow off? Isn't there some sort of handicap match or something? I think they do that. But shit, it doesn't take long because Hunter's got to drop the belt to Hogan, so maybe he continues the Jericho stuff for a while, and that's where they have their Hell in the Cell match. I don't know if Stephanie's involved that whole time or not. Don't remember. I never realized she's got purple in her hair. Couldn't tell that on standard definition back in the day. Oh, okay, so that's it for her, and then she'll be back at SmackDown GM. Okay. I thought she did an okay job there. But it was really hard. I thought it was a bit early to try to take her seriously in a GM role when we had only known her as the spoiled brat, princess, conceited, self-centered ass clown. And why in the world would you ever want her running a brand? And why would the fans want that either? So the fact that she did well at that at all was, I guess, pretty impressive. Oh, Jericho, big backdrop. Jezebel. I still call evil women Jezebels to this day. Nobody gets it. That crowd is dead as hell, aren't they? They are burnt the hell out. I mean, that's why you really want, if you can, to put the most over thing you have in the main event. I just buffered, which means I fell. It looks like 3 to 4 seconds behind. Because I am behind you. So I'm just going to... All right, so I'm going to pause it, and then wait until you get to 41. Perfect. Ha! Matched myself up perfect. I've never really had to resync my timer before, and I nailed it. But my stream just quickly hiccuped for 4 seconds there. But yeah, I mean, if they still had Austin coming out, the crowd would have a little bit more going on. They wouldn't be that dead for it. Yeah, I guess, no matter what side of the fence you're on, you can't really blame WWE for this decision. I mean, they didn't know the crowd was going to go that apeshit for Rock and Hogan. I think they knew they were going to be reacting hard, but that was probably beyond anyone's wildest dreams. So naturally, you'd put the title in the main event. But by this point, if you're in the audience, you'd probably be like, okay, it's almost time to go home. You're probably getting tired. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, that this is actually the first of 2 times this would happen to Triple H, because after Shawn and Taker did their thing, similar to how Hogan and Rock did their thing at Mania 25, he had to go in there against Orton, and they just shit the bed because the crowd didn't care. By that point, WrestleMania was probably already deemed a success in many's minds just on the strength of that. Ooh, I thought it was kind of a spine buster into a knee breaker. Oh, my God. Look out, Steph. Oh, there she goes. Please don't physically assault your wife on pay-per-view. Or just have Jericho do it. Oh, wow. Stephanie has always been a pretty good bumper. She's way better than her dad and brother. Well, maybe not Shane, obviously. Or maybe not Vince either. They take the severe bumps. She just takes the better overall casual bumps. Oh, no. Pedigree your wife. Jericho on the top rope. Oh, nice. Wow, Jericho executed that missile pretty good and protected Stephanie at the same time. Yeah, Shane takes the more extreme bumps. Vince can take some extreme bumps too, but when Vince falls, he just falls so awkwardly and weird. But Stephanie, man, she will eat shit if it means getting a reaction. Not literally eat shit. I love those fans that constantly wave as soon as the hard cam is on, they start waving at the Tron. We're like 4 hours into the show and they're still doing that. Me and my buddy pulled off one thing that was pretty cool. Sometimes before the show, they'll just show random people in the crowd and up on the screen. And lucky for us, it wasn't a kiss cam or anything. It was just a regular cam. And I noticed that we were up there, and I'm like, holy shit, we're up there. And we started doing the Shawn and Hunter DX thing where they go. And we actually got a pretty good reaction from the crowd, which was fun. But It's the only time I've ever got. Oh, and I got up on the screen at a Padre game too, but luckily for me, nothing weird like a kiss cam or. I like the kiss cams where the guy tries to kiss her and then she leans away from him. Those are the best. Oh, Bret Hart figure 4 on the ring post to Triple H. Jericho. Why, if the Canadian crowd cannot cheer for this move being executed on a Click member, Sean's best friend, by a Canadian, nothing will pop this crowd at this point. How can 67,000 people not recognize the sweetness of that? Like Jericho should have said, "This one's for Bret." Oh, good right hand by Triple H. Jesus. I haven't seen their Hell in the Cell match in a long time. Maybe, Raymond, when we get to June, we'll do that one. What was the pay-per-view name on that? Was it Bad Blood? Maybe we'll do a Bad Blood in June. Unless it was Vengeance. Who knows what the hell it was that month, but I know they have done Bad Bloods before in June, so I just don't know. Yeah, technically in kayfabe, Triple H and Stephanie are married still, or they have been divorced on screen. And I don't even think they've been full-blown married in real life yet, although they might be. I think they get married in 2002. I just don't remember when it was. Might be 03. I don't know. Judgment. Oh, okay. So it's Judgment Day 02. I was thinking it was June. I don't know why. Okay. So it's Judgment Day in May is where that Hell in the Cell is. Yeah. We could totally do one of those in May. Yeah, I'll find myself at a Padre game for sure this year. I haven't been since before the pandemic. Okay, so they're a full year and a half away plus of getting married. Okay. Oh. I forgot. We did not get a wave at this WrestleMania, did we? We haven't seen one tonight. If we did, I was talking through it. But they had one at WrestleMania 6. Oh. Come on, Chris. Seems like the crowd's entertaining themselves a little bit. Okay, so that Hell in the Cell match is on the same show as Hogan and Taker. Okay. I have that on DVD. Like I said, it's kind of rare. Jericho taking a table apart. Crowd is dead. They are, for sure. Poor Earl, always having to deal with McMahon's all the time. That's right. He was in that match. Solar plexus. Pedigree. No, he's way. Look where he's positioned. No. Backdrop. Yep. Ugh. Big table bump by Triple H. Crowd just wants to go home. Come on. Hurry up, Triple H, and win. We already know you're gonna. What's the count on WrestleMania main events for Triple H? 5 or 6? It's 16 and 18 and 20 and 21. That's 4 right there. 22, 5, 32, 6, maybe some in between. 25, I think. So, yeah, he's probably 8. Gee, yeah, he's had a bunch. Probably 8. Yeah, if I was a Spanish announce table, I'd get a fake ID that said I was an American announce table to protect myself. Walls of Jericho. I think he did WrestleMania 32, I think. So 2016 is on that list too. Okay, so I'm right. 7. Sounds about right. That's about 1/5 of WrestleManias. Triple H is motionless. JR, the crowd's motionless too. Oh, Jericho busted open. Ouch. No, Earl. Loving it. Nope. Sorry, Jericho. Oh, my God. Poor Mark Eaton always gets abused. Jesus. God, that poor dude just took decades of abuse and then got released. Oh. Stephanie is just all over Earl over there. Earl's like, I've had worse gigs. Oh, DDT on the chair. Earl chucked Stephanie off. That's awesome. Oh, my God. The referee, Earl, is letting a lot of shit slide here. Stephanie's in the ring. There's a chair in the ring. Get out, damn it. She pushes him. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I think Triple H is going to do something physical to Stephanie. Hey, bud. I'm watching Stephanie get pedigreed right now, and you're coming up here. I'll give you some treats, though. Here you go. Oh, my God, he does pedigree her. Jesus. He pedigreed her in that outfit. Everything's still in place. Okay, got to roll Stephanie out of there. Still got a match. She's got a title to win here. Oh, big chair shot. Jesus. Oh, he ate that hard. Yeah, I don't think Triple H bleeds in this match, but he should have right there. That was a pretty good-looking chair shot. Triple H selling the leg. Jericho going for the pedigree. Oh, nice. Jericho jumps on the ropes. Is that it? Oh, now they're standing a little bit. He hit him with it. Is that the finish? Is that it? I think it is. And he wins. Big shockaroo. Here you go, buddy. Here's some more. Well, the crowd at least seems to be happy that he won for the most part. But yeah, they were super silent for that. And it was a highly predictable ending. All the matches, the big matches were. There was no doubt in my mind with Austin and Hall. There was no doubt with Taker and Flair. There was no doubt with Rock and Hogan. I figured Rock would win that. And definitely no doubt here. But still, a really fun WrestleMania. I haven't sit and watched this one in a long time. Were we getting pyro yet? I don't think. Does Triple H get some pyro? Boy, he would be. This was one of the only times he was ever really loved as an audience. But to turn around the very next month and drop that thing to Hogan will still never not be crazy to me. Especially after Hogan jobbing to The Rock, I felt pretty confident. I'm like, oh, okay, Hogan's not there to take away and dominate and be champion. And then there he is. But winning the title in the main event of WrestleMania and dropping it the next month is pretty uncommon. No pyro for Hunter. JR signing us off only as JR can, screaming into the microphone with a half-hoarse voice. All right, we are going into our video package, which I will not bother with because I know it's on the East. If it's on the East Coast, it's about to be midnight for you guys, and you got to go to sleep. Thank you again for being here, as always, watching a classic WrestleMania. We're going to do WrestleMania 7 1 week from tonight. It will be fun to watch Slaughter and Hogan and talk about that whole thing, Warrior and Savage and the retirement match, and everything surrounding WrestleMania 7. So we're going to go way back to 1991 next week, so make sure you are here. My next video will possibly be tomorrow after Raw, depending on what we see. So you might see me then, and then Wednesday Night Dynamite watch along, of course, on Wednesday. So you guys take care of yourself. I'm going to get out of here now because I'm getting hungry, and have a good rest of your Sunday night, good rest of what's left of your weekend, and I will catch you either tomorrow or Wednesday. Unless something crazy happens, you might hear from me Tuesday. Who knows?